It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hey guys, it is Wednesday, October 9th. I'm Gabe. This is your host? That's not right. It's Double Impact. I'm Gabe. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you. It's Monster Squad, guys. We're going to have a great show. Let me bring in my co-host because I am fumbling the opening. How you doing, bud?
It's Monster Squad. What's going on?
There's supposed to be a 3 martini limit, and I don't know. No, I don't drink, but something was wrong there in my intro.
Double digits.
I was all over the place. Today's what the fuck are you doing? Today's movie is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. There's vindication, guys. There's redemption in the air. I love it because I wanted to see this movie in 1987 when I was 9. I love monsters. The creature from the Black Lagoon is my favorite monster because his design is so cool. And I saw the ad in the paper, and I was not allowed to watch movies and anything. My mom didn't allow it. And I finally saw this movie 3 years ago, and I hated it. But revisiting it last night, it wasn't all bad. It was not all bad. Monster Squad has redeemed itself. But first, my co-host, the great Jericho Green, the man, the myth, the legend, the midnight lover himself. How are you doing today? What's the latest, friend?
Doing good. Still, we have our house on the market. We're doing an open house this weekend, trying to sell the house, moving to Texas. So if anybody wants to buy a house, go ahead.
All right. How much? $3?
Oh, a little north of $3.
I can go $3.27.
A little north of that.
They say odd numbers are good for negotiation.
And there are plenty of odd numbers, but they're much higher than that.
Because if I offered you $5, you're like 5, 10, like whatever. But if I say $7.73, you're like, there must be justified reason to arrive at such a unique number. That's an old negotiating trick, guys.
Take that. Take
that from me.
Can't stop.
That's my Arab side talking.
Bubbling
Number
to the
one
surface.
deal for you, friend. Number one deal.
Body.
You come back when you want to make deal, baby.
Yeah, it is definitely more than $3.27, but I appreciate your offer.
Okay. I'm just saying, I feel like your offer is a fair and generous offer, but my budget is more like $3.75. So.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have to come back to you. I hope not.
But, how do we make that work? That's my budget. How do we make it work?
Maybe I'll come back to you. Take that deal at a later time. We'll see.
Mark's music obsession. You better be obsessed with good music too. If I find out his favorite band is the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, or like mumble rap.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
If I find out his favorite artist is Diddy,
You got some explaining to do. We're gonna
by
have
the
to have
way,
you investigated.
I do not celebrate what is happening with Diddy. It is not funny and it's horrible, but I do celebrate that I hate rap music, and this kind of justifies me that they are the scummy degenerates I always thought they were. I like old 80s rap where it was like funny and it was and I'm not a leftist. Everyone knows I'm very conservative, but I did like the socially aware message of, hey, let's get our shit together. That was like good for people, uplifting. Wasn't that like Eric B. and Rakim and Public Enemy and stuff like that? And to completely contradict myself, the silly, trashy stuff of NWA did make me laugh when I was like 10 or 11. So I didn't take it seriously, though. I just thought, wow, this is insane music. So
yeah, it definitely was so outrageous that I could see how it might be funny to a little kid. And my brother, he was older than me, so he had music like that. But if we were caught listening to that by our parents, it was over. Everything was over.
Right. And thank you, Mama Green, because now Jericho is steadily employed and married for many years, raising his kids because he didn't listen to that filth.
Raising both of them.
Whoa!
Just raise one.
No, let's go. Let's go extreme. Raising all your biological children.
All of them. Every single one. No child left behind.
That's the fun of being a man. What you tell your wife, you're like, I think these are all my kids. So we have here at the house. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I'm this far in, so I might as well just.
Yeah, I mean, there could be Jericho.
Just write it out.
Jericho Jr., some port in Barcelona, over near Barcelona.
Barcelona. You never know. You never know what could happen. You never know what life.
Light-skinned kid with green eyes who says stuff like Barcelona.
And he has a YouTube channel. Like, wait.
Wait. Jericho Verde.
Wait a minute. Jericho Verde.
Jericho Verde.
That would be. That would definitely be crazy.
He does great impressions. Mark's music obsession, not baby oil Diddy party. Afternoon, guys. Hail all in chat. And when you send in any sort of super chat or member chat, you're going to get the booty. What booty, you ask?
Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty.
That Belgian rump.
Yeah. We call this one the Belgian waffle.
No, I don't want none of those waffles. And no syrup, please. Right.
To revisit my Arab roots, the mom says, "You by 10th, I throw in camel."
Oh, man. Deal. Deal. I'll take it.
Diddy raps about being a pimp. Allegedly, YouTube turns out to be a pimp. Shocking.
He's in a whole world of trouble. Deep
That's
hot water.
That's a lot of trouble. Hot water. He did something allegedly, YouTube, so intensely bad that Costco had to deny they sold him a pallet of baby oil. That is too comical to believe that you saw that, right? Last week in the news.
Yeah.
So
the Costco PR rep did not see that coming. It was like one of those scenes where it's the middle of the night. She feels around on the nightstand for her phone. Hello, you got to get in front of this right now. What happened?
What's going on? Are the hot dogs? You're not raising them over $1.50. The hot dogs.
We can't. Look, I'm not going to tell you again. We can't go over $1.50. No. Forget the hot dogs. Diddy was found with 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and people are saying that he got it from Costco. You got to get in front of this. Are you serious? Is this a joke, Norm? Is this a joke, Norm? I know you're there. I'm tired. I'm going back to say this is not a joke. You need to make a statement about baby oil, and you need to do it in the next 30 seconds.
Completely insane.
She did not. The PR rep for Costco, the wholesale grocery and everything else you need store, did not see that one day she would have to make a statement about the rapper Diddy and baby oil.
I'm looking for news headlines that have that. It says Costco shuts down claim Diddy bought baby oil. P. Diddy Costco's baby oil scandal. Costco denies baby oil involvement in Diddy's freak-offs. Costco denies baby oil involvement in Diddy freak-offs.
She's like, what's a freak-off? Look it up. It has to be in your statement.
Holy shit, dude.
Has to be in your statement.
Faith Thomas. She says, Gabriel L. Tape, growing up in the African American community, you couldn't get away with not hearing the elements of earth, wind, and fire. You a fan of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Jericho?
Yeah. My mom used to listen to that back in the day. Plus, everybody's heard the song like September and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's just been woven into the
Right.
fabric of
Shrapnel's asking a nonsense question that really doesn't. Did you
no
make sure your wife
questions.
was the mother of your children? How would that?
I would sure hope so. I
There's that
mean,
old saying, "Mama's baby, daddy's maybe."
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But yeah, my daughter, she looks just like me, so I know that was mine.
Right.
And my son looks like her dad. So yeah, I think we're good. Maybe I'll check. Maybe when she sleep, I'll stick a cotton swab, get that cheek a little bit, send it to 23andMe.
Mark's music obsession. I love many different genres of music. If it has a great bass guitar groove, I'm in. He likes the song Peter Gunn.
Oh yeah.
Blues Brothers. Come on, baby.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that one.
Yeah. Shrapnel says you can buy 50-gallon drums of KY jelly. Don't ask me how I know this.
I don't think we need to ask.
Hey, Shrapnel, how do you know this?
I think we know.
Oh, you mean
That's a lot too. That's a lot, even for a lifetime.
Right.
That's a lot.
Today is a great day on Double Impact. As you know, we love all things 80s, some 70s, but mostly 80s and 90s action. We love it. It's macho. It's crazy. It's over the top. We love. Do you know what today is the birthday of? 37 years ago, Jericho. Do you know what day it is?
And today is the 9th.
No. But 32 years ago. Do you know what happened? What glorious thing happened 32 years ago?
32 years ago would be
32 years
92.
ago.
Yep.
32 years ago on this day in 92. Under Siege. Starring the great
Seagull.
martial artist Steven Seagal was released. I don't care what anyone says about Steven Seagal. His first 5 movies are fantastic. I'm a huge fan. Are you? That's what I tweeted this morning. His first 5 movies can't, just like Van Damme. First 5 movies are great.
Can't touch him.
Can't touch this.
Can't touch him.
As the Hammer said.
And then we get into Under Siege 2 and woof.
We got to do Under Siege 2. That's the one on the train, right?
Now you got it with Morris Chestnut, because in the 90s they figured out, hey, you need a fast talking black sidekick for comic relief. So let's get Morris Chestnut in there as the bellhop or fucking waiter or something like that. Some manual labor position.
Isn't his daughter or somebody's daughter Katherine Heigl from Grey's Anatomy?
His niece.
His niece. Right.
Yeah. Uncle Casey.
Right. And my favorite line of dialogue in the movie, I can't quote it, but the concept is this. You guys have to remember, some of you are young watching. It's 1992. Nobody really knows anything about computers or the internet like we do now. And the hacker who's going to control the weapons of the satellite or whatever, that bad guy hacker, they're like, the other bad guy's like, well, do you have it hacked yet? Or he's all, I just need like 38 more megabytes and I'll have it hacked. Yeah. Now in 2024, we all realize that sentence makes no sense. But in 1992, y'all look at each other like, he just needs a few more megabytes, and he's got
some megabytes. This guy's some megabytes. And the tech guy, the hacker, was always some quirky, nerdy looking white dude with some kind of weird glasses. He could get you into anything. He could, whatever you needed, traffic cameras, lights, traffic lights, shipping manifests. That's also a popular one. But whatever, if it's connected to the web, he's in there.
Yeah, it was Eric Bosogian. That sounds like
that's who the hacker was?
Yeah, it sounds like an Armenian last name. And he had a real European look. He had that European face and big black curly hair, but he was very light skinned, and he had like a flamboyant way of doing it, almost like a concert pianist, the way he would hack.
Oh, and Under Siege 2?
Yeah.
He reminded me of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. Just very whoa, very crazy, over the top. And he was just he looked like the Mad Hatter with
he should have done his role in the Mad Hatter voice.
Yeah, exactly.
I just need 24 megabytes to get this hacked.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. Like, you're gonna kill millions of people. Oh well. Like, he doesn't care. He's a nerd psychopath. It was crazy. But it worked for all of the 90s.
Oh my God. Do you know about the movie Against the Dark?
No.
Do you know about this?
I don't want to know about it.
Okay, because look at the comment there from Think About What You Think About at the bottom. He says, and I know about this movie, dude, and I tried to watch it. I tried to watch this. It was like free on Amazon Prime. Steven Seagal.
Oh
the dark.
no.
Dude, he's like, it's like Blade, leather jackets, blades,
No.
guns, taking out like an army of vampires in a bunch of like abandoned facilities and stuff.
Yeah, warehouses and whatnot.
Dude, it's bad. It's bad. It's
Well,
like unwatchable.
What year did it come out? Just so let me understand.
This is
how
like,
bad
I
it
think,
was.
early 2000s.
Ooh. So we're talking what movie was that? Exit Wounds, the ones he did with DMX in like 2003. So we're talking, yeah, this is Bad Seagal. By the early 2000s, we're well into Bad Seagal.
Well, this is 2009. So not the beginning of the 2000s.
Oh, but even worse. Even worse. Even
You know what's going to make
worse.
this extra bad is by 2009, you had Avatar and the Marvel Avenger movie level special effects.
Mhm.
This movie doesn't, but it could
But
have.
he just didn't have the budget. The stuff was available.
Oh yeah,
He
it
just
existed.
probably
It
couldn't
existed.
get his hands on it.
Yeah. Okay,
did you watch the whole
we'll put
thing?
that in the hopper, baby. October's all Halloween, horror, monster movies, but we'll put this in the hopper. We'll come back with a force of dog shit movies in November.
Yeah. Did you watch the whole thing?
No, I couldn't. It was awful.
Listen.
It was atrocious, dude.
Oh, movies that bad?
Because I wonder, I don't mean to make fun, but in like his newer movies of like the last 15 years, he's not physical at all and he's like overweight. Or like, is he like really injured? And he's pretty old. He's in his 70s now, right? He's like early 70s.
I don't know. I don't know if he ages. Him and Keanu Reeves, maybe they stopped.
I mean, there are recent movies from like the last 15 years of him where he's doing like his Aikido and all his hand chopping and all that. But he's like he's sitting in a chair doing it.
Yeah, he's sitting in one of those Mart carts from the grocery store. I still, every time we talk about bad movies, I will bring this up until we do it. And it goes right into our hatred for the Marvel Universe movies. But
oh no,
Madam Web, which is available right now on Netflix. And it's a big budget movie.
No.
That's the crazy thing. It's a big budget movie and it fucking sucks. I will put it up against, having not seen a minute of Against the Dark, I will put that up against.
Not Sydney Sweeney, though. She could do no wrong.
It is.
Unless my wife disagreed with her, then of course.
They all do wrong. That's who Sydney Sweeney is, the blonde chick?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. This was the low point in her career. That movie is a fucking
don't worry. She's made up for it, friend.
I hope so, because this movie is all-time bad. All-time. Like this, if there was the Jordan LeBron bad movie conversation going on across America, this would be in the talk. Madam Web would be in the LeBron fucking Jordan, who's the worst movie of all time conversation. It is. It's dog shit, horse shit, and bullshit.
Whoa.
That's possible.
That's a lot of
all
shit.
Three feces mixed together, and that's rare. You don't see that a lot.
That is a lot of poop.
A lot of
no, dude. She's made up for it. She's all right.
That is her.
She all right.
Well, she needs to do more of that because Madam Web was.
Yeah. So don't worry about her. That kid's
what color is her? What color is her hair? Never mind. Let's start.
Her hair, I didn't see it. I didn't. She had hair.
Start the show. Yeah.
She had
a head. What? She had a head. What?
What actually happened to Seagal? It seems like I have no idea. He and Van Damme, it's like the same to me. Like they shot out of a cannon. And their first 5 movies, you could rewatch them, and they're entertaining and they're fun. And then it starts to not be as good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And they've had good ones sprinkled in, but they've each made probably 70, 80 movies, and they're just, I don't know. Although I saw Kill 'Em All Part 2. Van Damme's newest movie came out 2 weeks ago, and it was enjoyable. It had, I told you about it last week. It was actually enjoyable. It was filmed in Europe, so it had that whole international spy kind of thing going on, and it was actually enjoyable. Kill 'Em All. You can rent it on Amazon Prime for $2-3, so it's worth the rental. It's only an hour and a half long. It's fun. So. Also, what is the best Marvel movie other than Blade? None. The Marvel movies suck. All of them suck, and I was right about that for years. Now it's trendy to make fun of Marvel movies, but I was saying years ago that Marvel humor is the worst, dude.
What about Howard the Duck? That was a good Marvel movie.
I thought we were friends, man.
Howard the Duck in it like that movie?
No. Why did Howard have a condom in his wallet? What are we doing?
But how old were you when you saw it?
I was like 8.
I was
My
6.
cousin's house. I always tell you about my cousin Tim and John's house, Aunt Martha's house, where I would see things I wasn't allowed to see at home because they had HBO. I was never allowed to watch trash. But when I went over there, my cousins, who were 2 years older and 6 years older, they were always watching garbage.
Give me your trash.
You know?
Give me your trash.
I remember I saw Aliens at 7 years old. And you remember the face huggers are going through the lab and they're running on the ground all creepy, you know? We're sleeping on the floor of the living room, and all I can think about is face huggers running out of the kitchen and under the couch and getting us.
Yeah, getting your
Why the
face.
fuck are we watching Aliens at 7 years old, laying on the floor of my cousin's house in the dark at like 1 in the morning? Why?
It was the 80s. That's why. It was the 80s. And that's how things were done. And it was a great time to be alive.
I thought Steve Kundo was the most powerful martial art. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds formidable.
Steve Kundo.
Oh, what? Hold on. I'm going to give me another take on that. Say action.
Action.
I thought Steve Kundo was the most powerful martial art. There you go.
There you go.
I can't believe I pronounced it Steve Kundo.
That's not a person.
Have you guys done the first Aliens movie? Well, first of all, it's not called Aliens. It's called Alien. And no, we haven't done it. And in fact, I've never seen it. So I'll have to watch it.
I've never seen it either.
So what we're going to do after Monster Squad, which we'll get to in a minute here, which did redeem itself. I hated this movie after I saw it 3 years ago, but it was fine yesterday when I saw it again. We will do The Lost Boys, which I worked on the comic books of The Lost Boys in 2009. And I've never seen The Lost Boys. So, and my wife, to celebrate me getting the job working on the Lost Boys comic book for DC Comics, she bought me like a DVD of the Lost Boys in 2009 that I've never watched.
Wow.
So now, in my defense, I didn't have a Blu-ray player until like a month and a half ago.
Shameful. Not really your defense, because you have had the means to acquire a DVD player.
This is true. This is true.
And even a combo. You can probably get a DVD / Blu-ray player.
That's what I currently have. That's what I currently have.
There you go.
I'm living the high life of the rich and famous.
Well, allow that to be your first movie that you watch on it.
I've already watched the original 1970s and 80s Star Wars. That's what I watched on it. I wanted to de-virginize my Blu-ray player with Star Wars, the good ones.
Do it the right way. You remember that show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? Robin Leach. Champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
That's right, baby.
Oh,
you had to be there, non-80s kids. You had to be there. Okay, guys, before we start, I want to show you one little video. Is this the right video? Yeah, I want to show you a video, and then I want, but before we do that, fingers, your right index finger, left if you're left-handed. Hit the like and hit the share right now. Do it right now before we move forward. 1, 2, hit it. Now, you hit the like. Everyone hit the like. Okay, now everyone hit the share. Okay, now everyone hit share to Twitter, Facebook, wherever you want to share, or both.
Do it.
Got that? Okay, if we got that, okay, we're moving on.
Do it.
Let me present this video file to you, and you will love it. You will love it, damn it, because I said so. Guys, you know me. You know I'm an anti-woke, pretty conservative guy, but Kamala has been doing interviews lately, and she really convinced me, so I gotta. This is a safe place. I'm going to confess something to you guys. We got our ballots in California on Tuesday. I'm going to, fill it out, mail it in. I got my ballot, and
oh boy,
after listening to Kamala, she convinced me. So here's video proof that she convinced me. Guys, Gabe, I'll tell you, Big Man Comics here, guys. We got our official 2024 ballots today. Now I know I've been talking a lot about what I believe in and this and that, but I want you to look right here. I heard another Kamala Harris speech, and I want you to know, zoom in right here, that I think she convinced me that they believe in joy, and they believe in that she really convinced me that she would be the worst fucking person to ever be president of this country. So that is my official vote for Donald J. Trump.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Take that, puta.
There you go.
Take that, puta.
I faked all of you out. Faked you all out.
Suckers.
You thought I got convinced by joy like some kind of idiot.
Joy. She brings joy and makes everything joyful because she's joyous.
Oh, one other thing. We got to get to the sports section of the show. As we all know, we have a longtime fan of the show. He'll come in. I talked to him on Instagram. He's supposed to record a video. We had a bet last week.
Uh-oh.
My Denver Broncos gave the Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Oakland Raiders a bare bottom spanking. This is over the knee, pants down, chonies down.
Oh man,
Broncos gave it to the Raiders.
swatted
Gave it to them. And now
on your
Diesel
hiney.
will arrive with a video. I'm going to check my Instagram, see if he sent me the video. He was supposed to send me a video saying the Broncos are the Raiders' daddy, and he loves the Broncos. That was the agreement.
Oh, gross.
That was the agreement.
Gross.
Oh, what do we have here? Wait, is there a video? Wait, what is this? Okay, I got it here.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, I'm going to download. I should have done this before the show, guys. It's called show prep. Holy shit, Gabe.
It's called show prep.
I'll record it and then I'll send it over to the main show, and then we'll play it. All right. Anyway, we'll play that video once he's here. We will wait for him to honor him with the bare bottom spanking that only the Broncos could deliver to the Oakland, Los Angeles, Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so we'll get to that later. And a final bit of business.
Oh boy.
Not only my Broncos killing it, my San Diego Padres, they gave the Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Oakland Dodgers a bare bottom spanking last night too. Up 2-1, they eliminate the Dodgers tonight. Send them back to LA. Send them back to LA. That's right, baby. That's right.
And it's the 3-game series right now?
It's first 1 to 3, so it's a best of 5.
Okay. So 5 game.
All right.
Okay.
All right. San Diego Padres. That's right. The Friars, baby.
Fun.
All right. Go in the backyard and break a switch from the tree for your own spanking. Yeah.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've all gotten spanked growing up.
Done that.
We've all got it. And there were even sometimes you didn't feel that upset about it. You knew you deserved it. The time I put a lighter on a butter knife till it got glowing hot and then put it on my brother's elbow to see how he would react.
Mm-hmm.
Then my dad smacked me and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. So
Earned it. Earned it. You know, you don't feel bad about anything you earn, good or bad. If you earned it, you deserve it.
You take a little pride. Hey, I earned that. You know what I did to do that? Get that? All right. Here we go, Jericho. Now, Jericho does have to step away at like 2 o'clock for like 10, 15 minutes, but he'll come back. So I have to go solo. Hopefully Diesel will be here for his spanking by then. You know. So that'll be nice. I'm gonna just send that video to myself right now, and that'll be that. Sorry, guys. And then we move on. So tell me about Monster Squad. When did you see it? How old was you? All that stuff, Jericho.
Well, it came out in 87, so I probably didn't see it until 88 or 89.
All right.
Let's see. When did it come out? I can tell you exactly how old I was. The Monster Squad.
The Monster Squad.
See, release date. August 14th, 1987. So it was summer. So I was actually still 6. I didn't turn 7 until November. So I probably didn't see it until I was 7 or 8. But yeah, it was. Oh, and it was a flop too. The budget was $14 million. It only made 3.8. How's that? But no, I loved it, man. I thought it was great. All the monsters, the kids, you know, they're all hanging out together, which we all used to do before kids' faces were glued to phones and iPads and shit. We'd get our bikes, go ride together. And it was just how movies were as a kid. You know, they're monsters and they fight the monsters. And then the previews, it always had the part where he says, kick him in the nards. He doesn't have any nards. Kick him in the nards. He kicks the werewolf in the balls. He goes, oh, holds his nuts. You know, that shit was just hilarious, man. And just the idea of kids doing something, kids kicking ass, kids facing their fears. What's more scary than these monsters when you're a little kid? And they're all together in a group. So their group versus our group, and they're just a bunch of little kids. So, man, this movie was fucking great. I loved it. And I showed it to my son maybe a year ago. Can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry.
There you
Are
go.
they middle school or elementary? Because two of them look very young, and the others look like middle schoolers.
Middle school? It says we're 12
Okay.
at one part in the movie. So yeah, they're what, 6th grade
Okay.
probably. And one kid, he's older. The kid with the leather jacket, I think he's older. He might be like an 8th grader.
Oh, he's the bad boy too. you
Yeah,
know?
he's the cool guy.
I'm
But he
surprised
sticks
didn't
up
have,
for
like, cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve or something. You know.
yeah, almost. He sticks up for one of the kids. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, when the bully, and isn't the bully the guy from the Wonder Years?
Yeah, he was typecast already at that young age to be a dick, because he definitely was in this movie.
Sorry, looking at my phone. Okay, so Monster Squad. I saw the ad in the paper when I was 9 years old in 1987. I wanted to see this movie so bad. Was not allowed to go see it. Saw it 3-4 years ago. Freaking hated it. It was just let down. And yesterday I thought it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So it was actually entertaining. There are a couple moments that are too adult, in my opinion, for a kid's fun movie. I don't know why they have to go there with this stuff. That always bugs me when they do that. Again, that's the chief reason I freaking hate Deadpool. Why do you got to put so much perversion in it? But nonetheless, I think if I had seen this at 8, I might have passed out from joy. I love Halloween. I've always loved Halloween. The iconography, the monsters, the concept, the spookiness. I've always thought it was so much fun. And this movie kind of captures that Halloween feel. 100 years before the story begins, it was a time of darkness in Transylvania, a time when Dr. Abraham Van Helsing and a small band of freedom fighters, these are our guys from last week, Harker, Big Tex, Quinn, John, and the other one that was the rich guy that Lucy married, conspired to rid the world of vampires and monsters and to save mankind from the evil, and they failed, according to this intro here.
It was a dark and stormy night.
I was working in the lab late one night.
Yeah, very much like that. Very,
Yeah.
just so fucking cool, man.
Right. Yeah.
Love
So the
it.
Monster Squad. It starts off back in the days of Abraham Van Helsing. So that would have been what? That 1800s?
Late 1800s?
Right.
Yeah, 100 years ago. So 1887.
Okay, yeah. 1887, yeah. So it starts off and we're having the confrontation with Dracula and Van Helsing in Dracula's crypt. And Van Helsing shows up with some I don't know, they're breaking in, they're blowing stuff up. Remember how Dracula had those 3 like succubi, the evil demon,
3
blood suckers,
vampire whores. Yeah.
I know some people who dated some women like that. Boom.
But they weren't sucking on blood.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they weren't.
But in the lore of this movie, compared to the regular Dracula book or the Bram Stoker movie, there's a magic crystal that can open a portal to banish Dracula and everyone into this negative zone. Yeah.
Limbo. Yeah.
All right. And but it can only be done at midnight on such and such day, and the magic words have to be recited by like a virgin, right?
A virgin, yeah.
You know, it'd be funny, instead of if they got a female version, they got like a guy who was super into Warhammer 40K or something, and he had like the headgear and the braces, and then he recited the magic words to open the portal to banish vampires.
Hey guys, I'll read that stuff. It's simple. Like, oh, you're definitely a virgin.
I don't see what the big deal is.
Hey, get headgear over here. He's definitely a fucking virgin. But this is a pretty scary opening scene, because these things are coming out of the ground, like shit's starting to happen. The monsters are closing in.
Right.
And
it's a young Nancy Pelosi. A young Nancy Pelosi.
Very young. I think she would turn 18 like a month before this movie came out. This is her at their premiere. But he's yelling at the girl, and I paused it. I was doing something, so I paused it like pretty much right on this scene where he's just like, fucking read it. But he was just screaming at her, read the book, and all these German shit. But as you can see, he was very intent. Because as she's reading, that portal's being ripped open in our dimension, and it's about to send the monsters into another time. And it's successful. and the amulet, which you're going to hear 73,000 times.
Do you have the amulet?
So if you like the word amulet, this is going to be
Oh,
a great
Jericho,
memory for you.
I'm taking the missus to wine country this weekend. We're going to look at amulets at the antique.
Well, isn't the amulet festival in town?
Oh, I'm in the market for a new amulet.
Oh, I bought an amulet last year, and I told her. I said, Penelope, every year we have to get a new amulet.
Oh, but does it have to be so gaudy?
Well, if it's not gaudy, then it's not an amulet.
Amulet, better than Carol Ann. What is the joke I'm not getting here? Who's Carol Ann? Who's Amulet?
I don't know. I should have named my daughter Amulet.
Amulet, get over here.
Amulet.
Amulet, I told you to stay off the dang roof.
Amulet, come in here and grab that car battery so we can turn on the stove.
Get your ass inside. Stop torturing your brother.
Amulet, get over here and eat these vittles.
None of the Miser says poltergeist. That has something to do with Amulet and Carol Ann. I don't know. Never seen it.
Amulet, are you pregnant again? Of course.
Poltergeist 3, they repeat it dozens of times. Carol Ann.
Amulet.
Oh, did you see that Carol Ann has a new amulet?
Of course. I think she bought her amulet used. Disgusting.
Oh.
Oh, look at her. She can't even afford a brand new amulet. It must suck to be born.
So everyone gets sucked.
Everyone gets sucked off in the basement. Everybody gets
The
sucked
movie
off.
took a turn.
Real early. We're like a minute in. Everyone's getting sucked off in this basement. But all the damned, because it's only the damned, all the damned, meaning the monsters, they all get into another dimension for 100 years.
Now, hold on a minute. What's in the other dimension? Because I feel like this is taking trash in your yard and throwing it over the fence into your neighbor's yard. What if on the other side of that portal, there's just some nice other church-going folk in a little village, and you just plop Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman with Nards, Mummy, and the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I have nards.
Right into the town square.
I mean, that would be terrible.
Right.
Or it's like they fucking go to the other dimension and they're like in this club. Everyone's like, "Yay, Dracula!" Woo! And they're just partying and shit. And they don't want to be sucked back here. They don't want to get sucked off back here 100 years from now. They love it there. Women, drinking, partying.
Someone pointed out to me that blood is food for vampires. Nobody pointed out that to me, but they said that opening scene in Blade, where in the dance club and the fire extinguisher system is just spraying blood on the dancers. He said that would be like going to a nightclub where they're just spraying gravy everywhere.
And where's the bad part? It was just country gravy, like breakfast gravy with chunks of sausage and shit.
If you Jericho, now we joke around usually on here, but sometimes we get serious.
I'm not joking.
If you had to get gravy sprayed all over you while you were dancing the night away to Euro techno pop, would it be thick white morning country gravy, or would it be like a brown beef and onion or turkey gravy?
No, we're going with the country gravy because I always carry biscuits. So I just open the biscuit, and as long as you get the sausage spray before it touches the ground,
you always have.
Yeah, that's how they stay warm. They're constant 98.6.
Right. What you guys don't know is that Jericho has a belt like Batman, the utility belt, and he just has it filled with breakfast bread. He's got biscuits on the right side. So if you ever need some buttermilk biscuits, Jericho's got you covered.
Yeah, but you know how many situations I've diffused with a fresh hot biscuit, a little butter.
You're like, oh my God, does anybody have a biscuit? And you're like, hello.
Duh. Here you go. A little butter, a little Smuckers on that, huh? Eat that. Now shake hands.
Right.
Yeah. The world's a good place when you got a hot biscuit.
You know where you never have to worry about getting gravy sprayed all over you and not liking it?
Where?
Pastamania, brother. Our gravy's the best. That red Sunday gravy that my mom makes. I don't know how you do that voice so much.
That's right, brother. This is red gravy here, brother. I'll never have it. I'll never have it sprayed out of a fire extinguishing system. Not this stuff, brother. This goes on your plate, brother. And it goes inside your body, brother, to give you the nutrients you need to ride on the back of that red and yellow Harley, brother.
Now I want. Speaking of Gravy Hulkster, I wanted to apologize because I wasn't able to make it out to Gravy Fest on Sunday. I was going amulet shopping after I watched the Broncos smash the Raiders, and but I heard you came in second at Gravy Fest. So were you disappointed? Or you consider it like a learning process, or how? You know.
I was mad, brother. Listen here, dude. I was mad a lot, dude. I knew I made the best gravy out there, brother, but that's all right because I took that judge home, brother. That fine 9 out of 10, brother. Listen to this, dude. I took her home and I gave her some of that Hulkster gravy, brother,
Whoa.
and it was spraying like it was coming out of that fire extinguisher in that great movie, Blade, dude.
Wow. Think about what you think about. Asked and answered. He was going to ask, you ever spray hot white gravy? It's called Alfredo sauce. Think about what you think. I see what you're trying to joke about. It's Alfredo.
Yeah, I don't do that, brother. I take it real serious, dude. Our hygiene here at Pasta Mania gets an A+ from the health department every time, dude.
Right. Okay. Well, you know, when you think of gravy being sprayed all over and people loving it, you think of Pasta Mania, guys. Kids
Think of me, brother. We got the white Alfredo, brother. We got that red marinara sauce, dude.
Now, do you guys still have pasta or pesto, or is that just in the springtime and the summer? Or do you have pesto right now?
I bring that out during the holidays, brother. A little red sauce, dude. Some of that white mozzarella, little green pesto, brother. It makes it real festive looking, brother. I make a little Christmas tree painting with the pesto, dude, on your plate, brother. You come in on your anniversary and you and your lady, brother.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, my anniversary's coming up. Maybe I'll take the missus down to Florida. Now, you guys, batten the hatches. This isn't a joke. You got that hurricane coming in later tonight. So prayers to Florida. My goodness. Jericho, I don't even want to joke about it. I don't even know why I brought that up with this character on the screen.
I don't know why you did it.
Holy crap, that's terrible. I feel very bad for everyone in the path of that. But we'll get the Hulkster out here because we would never joke about a natural disaster like that. Thank you for coming in, Hulkster. And kids eat free on Tuesdays, guys. Pasta Mania.
Our one and only sponsor, by the way.
Our one and only. We're working on a second one.
I don't think it's going to work, but yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, I mentioned Florida and the hurricane, and I thought, we can't joke about that. That's not funny. People die and lose all their belongings. Never mind. That wouldn't be hilarious. That would be cruel and terrible. So, no, we don't make that joke. So, Jericho sounds like Jimmy Hart.
Oh, the mouth of the South? I hated Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart, Bobby the Brain Heenan, all those bad managers, the bad guys, the heel managers.
Right.
I hated those dudes.
What was the name of the guy? He looked like he was fat and he had a mustache and he looked like half dead and he was always holding that little urn.
Oh, Paul Bearer.
Right. I couldn't remember. Yeah, he was the Undertaker guy.
Undertaker, yeah.
Yeah. He looked all freaky deaky, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Bearer, he was scary, man.
As I've gotten older, I actually really appreciate pro wrestling for the artistry of it is, the storytelling and the characters. Because as a kid, I'm like, it's fun, but it's completely ridiculous. And then you get older, you're like, oh, but if they go full send, if they just embrace the cartoony ridiculousness of it, that's what made it fun. Like, I get it now. Because you're young, you don't care, it's fun. Then you're like too cool for school, like a teenager, early 20s, like, oh, wrestling's so lame, like whatever, because you're kind of embarrassed. Then you get older, and it's like, oh, it's just they're goofing. It's for fun. And it's actually athletically very impressive.
Yeah, those guys are, man, insane. Some of those jumps, those that high flying shit.
What I don't understand is how they do it into advanced age, because ball players in the baseball, basketball, football, they got to quit in their 30s. But you had Tyrus, my friend, he was like wrestling single digit years ago, and he's 51 now. So he was wrestling into his mid 40s at 300 and whatever pounds, flying off the top rope. Like, dude, that's some athletic prowess to not kill yourself at that age and that size.
Yeah, I think wrestling is unique in the fact that you learn how to take those hits. You learn how to fall. Like, you don't learn how to get hit in football. You don't learn how to land or whatever in basketball. But in wrestling, you can learn how to land and learn how to take shots, give shots, and shit like that. And maybe that speaks to the longevity of it. But yeah, those guys are definitely great athletes doing some crazy shit for years and years. Look at The Rock.
Right.
He's wrestling,
50, right?
Yeah, he's in his 50s. So
yeah, if you don't have it, go on Amazon and get Enough Said and get Just Tyrus. He's done 2 memoirs in the last 2 years, New York Times bestsellers. And in the first one called Just Tyrus, it's fascinating. His life story is insane, but it's fascinating the stuff about getting into wrestling as a young man. He was Snoop Dogg's bodyguard for a long time. You know that? For a
Yeah.
long time. And close personal friends with Snoop Dogg. But check out his journey to wrestling. And it's bittersweet, some of the stuff that happens to him in the wrestling world, wanting to get to WrestleMania and coming from like broken home and poverty and like a lot of tough situations. So I admire the guy the more I got to know him as not just a funny man on Fox News, but actually a really really complicated dude in a good way. You know, sometimes you meet somebody and they're 2 miles wide and a centimeter deep, you know, there's nothing going on. So, yeah. So, it's 2. Do you have to skedaddle at 2?
2:15.
2:15, and then you'll be back around 2:30?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, in the 100 years ago, late 1800s, Van Helsing banishes the damned to limbo with the amulet. That's what's happened. That's the opening scene to like set the tone for what's going on in this movie. So we jump to 1987 or whatever it is. Oh, what time? 1987. I was a 4th grader in Mrs. Stevens' class at Westwood Elementary School, the Westwood Roadrunners, right? Is that what we were? I believe so. And we get this is so 80s, it hurts, this stuff. You get the typical 80s principal. He's lecturing the boys, you know, about what they're doing. And we start to meet the members of the Monster Squad. And the kid in the red, he's like the alpha. He's like the main Monster Squad guy, right? And who do you relate to in this one? You know, did you identify with one of the characters, or is it like
I think like most kids, you identified with the leader, the kid right there in the
right, Sean,
red t-shirt.
Right.
Yeah, he was cool. And they knew he was the leader. They said it, he said it. You know, he was the leader of the group. And even to the older kid, you know, who joined the group later. But definitely the main kid and the poor, as they called him, fat kid. Like they didn't use his name. His name, they called him Fat Kid.
Right.
And this is his group of friends. His friends. That was his nickname. So shout out to the 80s.
Does Fat Kid ever get a name?
At the end.
What are they? I don't remember it.
His name's Horace.
Horace.
Yeah.
No. Of course it's Horace, right?
Yeah, of course. Of course, the kid's name's Horace.
Horace. You didn't finish your dinner, Horace. Oh, imagine being named Horace and then your mom's a nag.
Horace.
The golden capstone coming in. Thank you. His name is
Changing my
Horace.
name right now. Change it.
Right. So Horace is getting picked on, and then Billy Badass shows up. I like how they give him the leather jacket, and he's got a little bit of a mullet, a lot of mousse in his hair too.
Yeah, very cool. Let you know right off the bat, this is the cool guy, the bad boy, cool guy, not like the jock. This is the bad boy breaking the rules. You know, probably has engaged in some adult activity already.
Right. A little bit probably smoking some Marlboro Reds or something like that. And he trashes those bullies, you know, for picking on.
Makes him one of the bullies knocked his candy bar on the ground, so he made the kid pick it up and eat it. And they were using an F word. They must have used it like 5 times in this scene alone. Right. What'd you say, F? What'd you say, F? Like, it was so funny, man. I was like, man, back when you could say shit, back when you could say that word, because you didn't mean it as a derogatory term. You meant it toward that person, not toward that group, but toward that person. Yeah, because in the world of men, no matter your age, the worst thing you can do is attack somebody's manhood. So that's why we use words like that when talking to each other. And we're just talking shit. I mean, these kids meant it because they're little asshole bullies. But when you say stuff like that, when you say things like that to your buddies, you know, degrading them, that's like the number one thing, is to attack their manhood.
Right.
So, or we use word, it's not, you know, I don't know if anybody's ever said that. Like, I mean, to like an actual gay person. I would guarantee you that if you look at the percentages of when that word is used towards an actual gay person as like, you know, a slur versus men using it with each other, I think men using it with each other would be more, because it's just how we roll. We talk shit. We bully each other. We talk shit.
Right, but Jericho,
Insult
nowadays
each other.
the only rule nowadays is that you made someone feel bad. It doesn't matter if something is right or wrong. It matters that you hurt someone's feelings.
But that happens sometimes. It's called adulthood. And if the person, like, if you don't know them, like, do you really give a shit what they think? Like, you don't fucking care. You don't care if somebody, like, once you graduate high school, you don't give a shit. People don't say things to you. No random person is going to go and start talking shit to you. So that doesn't even happen. So to even care what another person thinks about you is just ridiculous.
It would be very strange. It would be very strange if you were walking out as a 43-year-old adult and someone came up and said, "Nice shirt, loser."
Yeah. Nobody's going to say that. And if they do, you probably cuss their ass out. Like, what? Right. Look at your clothes, you piece of shit, or whatever. But that doesn't happen. That's reserved for movies like this.
Right. But again, I think with this, the mistake you make, if you take it literally, is like, this doesn't literally happen, this stuff. It's representing reality in an exaggerated way, so you just get the theme. That's how the storytelling always works in anything, whether it be a drawing, a poem, a TV show, a movie. They're exaggerating reality, so you get it. They're boiling an idea down. So, because all of us have to think, how often in life has someone come up to you, torn up your comic book, and smashed your candy bar and thrown on the ground? I mean, really? That's not really a thing that happens like frequently at all.
Never. Like, you're never at work putting your stuff down and somebody comes up and knocks it off of your desk or whatever, and shoves you, or like, get around you in a group and start calling you names.
It's funny, the thing about bullying, because it doesn't. I feel like I don't want it to be true because it seems like too simple to answer, but we all know it's true that bullies are cowards who only attack from a position of like strength. Bullies will only ever attack people whose arms are tied behind their back. The minute the other person has any leverage or can fight back, the bullies are running, screaming, crying. And that is like it. When I hear that, like, oh, stand up to a bully and bullies are actually cowards, I feel like I want to rebel against that. Like, no, bullies are mean, tough guys. Like, no, they're not. They are cowards. It's a weird thing. I think, I don't know. It's like too good to be true that a bully's a coward, So
yeah, and I think bullying, maybe on a physical level, but definitely on a verbal level, we've all been bullies as well. Like most things, they only push half of the argument, or half of the equation, but we've all been bullies too. There's been a kid, especially as a young man, there's been a kid that you picked on for whatever reason, and that's just the way it is. There's a hierarchy, and the lower you are on the totem pole, the more people you're going to get made fun of by, but we've all done that. We've been bullied by people, and we've also been the dickhead too.
Absolutely. Sorry, phone. But so the bullying ends, and then Sean and the other kid, they're walking home, discussing some things. And what is is it Phoebe, the little sister?
Yeah, Phoebe.
Right. And she's the, what I'm realizing now, how much this is like Jericho Green and the Hammerheads.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh, yeah. We've got the little sister. We've got the cool white boy with the blondish hair. But we have the Asian, the Japanese Filipino kid, and the Mexican kid. They didn't have this here. Now the fashion in this movie is kind of very 80s to me, with the gotcha and the TNC, and didn't have a lot of money growing up, and everyone else wore that. It's Southern California. Everyone's wearing Quicksilver, gotcha, Rusty. Not me.
Body glove.
Stussy. O'Neill. I remember I got one pair of Quicksilver board shorts and wore those repeatedly. Because I didn't have fashionable clothes. They weren't bad clothes. Thank God I had clothes, but they were just plain clothes. They didn't have any markings or any writing on them. And those logos mattered so much when we were little. I don't know if they matter now to kids in elementary and middle school, but to have the TNC surf design, that little yin yang symbol. By the way, it's yin yang. It's not yin yang. Stop saying that.
It's yin yang. The yin and the yang.
Right. Hardy Harmonica sang Hawaiian Island Creations. Was that a thing in the 80s? I thought that wasn't until the 90s, HIC.
I don't remember.
I didn't see that till high school in the 90s, but maybe it was where he was from. So, British.
All about the label. Oh, yeah. BK's. The E Spirit. That was another big one when I was in elementary school.
Like I never had Jordans. I had 2 pairs of Nikes. My grandpa got me a pair of Nikes one summer because I worked in this tortilla factory. And then another time I got some at the Navy Exchange, the retail store on the Navy base for real cheap on sale. Some flights, I think, like that, Nike flights. But no, always had plain generic shoes. I'm not mad about it or anything, but it was a time in the 80s where you needed to be wearing TNC or Quicksilver or Rusty or something like that.
LA Gears, British Knights.
Right.
Nikes are always there. Reeboks were big.
I remember
Reebok pumps.
Right. I remember
Reebok was huge.
The Nike pumps, and they had a tiny little pump to pump the shoe.
My brother got a pair of Nike pumps. They came in their own like opaque Nike container with the lid on it and a strap, so you could like carry them around and shit. And like now, Reebok is some fucking Walmart discount bin bullshit. But back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s, Reebok was fucking right up there with Nike. Reebok was Nike's competition. You had major athletes were wearing Reebok and shit, and it was very popular, fashion wise among kids and stuff, and adolescents and shit. So Reebok would, or everybody really. Yeah, those one high top Reeboks that came in like black and red and white, and they were like solid black, solid white, or solid red, and dude, they were fucking big time. Reebok was the shit. It sucks that they've fallen on hard times now, but Reebok was Nike's direct competition, especially when the Reebok pumps came out. I think it was D Brown was the face of the Reebok pump, and had a little basketball in the tongue of the shoe, and you would pump it up and you could feel it getting tighter on your foot.
I remember that.
It had like little air bladders in it wherever you pump it up, and it would get tighter on your foot, and then you could let the air out. I remember my brother sitting there just pumping them up. He wasn't even wearing them. He just pump, and then let it out. Like it was fucking crazy. But Reebok was shit. They were like sponsoring NFL teams and shit.
Yeah. Is Reebok? They're pretty dead now, huh? They're not much.
Yeah, I think they're British. Reebok. Yeah, they're like bargain bin Walmart level now. But in the day, that little fucking Union Jack, that little flag, isn't that what the British flag is called?
Right.
Who gives a fuck? Because we beat you in
right.
war. But yeah, the little Union Jack, and it said Reebok on it. They were fucking huge, man.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah, it was a time in fashion, and I think it's different now. I think because we live in a nice world of no bullying and all this, but there's actually tons of it, but it's all hidden and subversive, and in very indirect. I think now kids can kind of wear what they want. Like they still follow the fashion, but I think those labels aren't as big a deal. Maybe they are. I don't know.
I think I'll ask my daughter when she gets home.
I mean, do your kids have a bunch of stuff with like a chest badge like that?
No. I mean, some of like my son's Nike shirts.
Right.
They'll have the big Nike sign on them and shit like that, but
I soured on Nike completely with all their woke bullshit. Like, I don't want to wear that crap. So
I like the quality of Nike. They are
they make great looking stuff. They do. It's fantastic looking, but just like, no thanks. The memoir of Phil Knight, the Nike founder and president, it's called Shoe Dog. It is fantastic. I read it like 5-6 years ago. Shoe Dog. It's a great book if you want to get a hold of something. Definitely a boomer who had every opportunity in the world thrown at him. But yeah, Shoe Dog I thought was fantastic. Check that out. That's available everywhere.
Oh, speaking of woke bullshit. So I was in a hospital yesterday visiting somebody. Okay. And it's not as bad as it sounds, but he was in the pediatric ICU. And so we're walking in to visit him, and they have this laminated, regular standard piece of paper size little poster, and it's stuck on the corner of the nursing station, and it has the rainbow flag and the Ku Klux Trans flag, the combination, where if you put 4 of them together in a circle, it looks like a swastika. But anyway, they had it taped to, or whatever, stuck to the end of the nursing station, the countertop, and it says, "We support all communities." And I thought to myself, this is the pediatric ICU. I guarantee you every parent that comes through that door does not give a shit how you feel about those groups of people, or if, oh my God, they support our community. Okay, we'll bring our child here. Those people are there dealing with some of the hardest times that life can throw at them. They don't give a shit about your stupid little woke nonsense bullshit support of what group? Like, who gives a shit?
I don't know why. Here's the thing about secularism, and I believe this, and I've always believed it. Everyone is religious. You know, you have like, oh, atheist, secular. No. You cannot have a null value in the religion part of your mind and brain and personality. We all believe in God, or we believe we are God. That's basically what I observe. And because it's like, how much do I talk about? I don't believe in Frankenstein. Jericho, remember all the times I've talked about that with you? I just go on these long rants when we're not on the air. I constantly talk to Jericho about it. I'm certain Frankenstein probably isn't real, and there's not enough proof, and I don't believe in him. I don't talk about that because I don't care, because I don't think about it. So when people are constantly talking about the Bible's false, God isn't real, blah, 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 that's how you know they're constantly thinking about it. They don't like the idea of it being real, but they're definitely obsessed. They're definitely obsessed. So that's a thing I've observed about people and their belief systems like that. So what I was going to say about the secularism that Jericho was talking about, that we support everything and we believe in everything. What I was going to say about that is everyone has religious values. Some people don't like to admit it, but you do. You have things that you are an adherent to that are the most important values to you. And those secular people, they want to push this stuff on kids. And a lot of times that, they're very selfish, narcissistic people, and they don't have kids. So they want to push it on your kids, because we all want to teach our culture to the next generation. So that's what all this push is about, of always indoctrinating children and all this crap they want to do. So, and you got to be like Jericho. You got to be like me. You got to stay vigilant, and you got to stop these weirdos from trying to brainwash your kids. Hardy Harmonica said HIC started in 1971 in Kailua, Hawaii. And don't forget the Aussies with Billabong in 73. That's right. That's right. Those are all the great, it was a lot of surfing fashion. I wonder what that's about. Living in San Diego, surfing made sense. But when I would go visit Colorado in the summer of 1990, why were kids in Colorado wearing surfing fashion? That is something that Jericho and I, as Californians, don't really understand, why a kid in Iowa is wearing a gotcha or a body glove surfing t-shirt. But I think
that's that cool.
Surfing is cool. Yeah. So let's see. Are you gonna go run and do your thing real quick?
Luckily, we live really close to the school, so it's only a few minutes away.
Okay, so you're gonna run and do that?
Yeah, and a few.
Oh, okay.
They're so close that you can hear them laughing and screaming on the playground.
Wow.
So,
all right,
spooky.
Right. So we got a cargo plane. And they have a red light. Now, you were a Navy man, and you guys use the red light at night to not be seen from a distance, right? Because if you used other wavelengths, those would travel easier, the yellow or blue or whatever, and people could see that from further away, right? Is that what the thinking is on the red light?
Yeah. And if you were waking somebody up to take over your watch, you don't want to shine a fucking bright light in their face, or when they're getting ready to go and watch, they don't want to turn on a white light with everybody else sleeping.
Right.
Fucking wake them up. So yeah, there's multiple uses, but yeah, so they can't be seen from very far away, but you can still see very well.
Right. So this cargo plane's flying ostensibly from where? From Transylvania?
Transylvania.
Real quick, when it comes to the Halloween cereals, which are horribly unhealthy, nobody should eat that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like Fruit Brute? Do you like Strawberry Mummy? Do you like the Blueberry Ghost? Or do you like Count Chocula?
I guess I would have to go Count Chocula, because I think all the other ones have marshmallows in them, which I fucking hate. I don't like Lucky Charms.
They all have marshmallows now. Count Chocula has the marshmallows.
Oh, then none of them. I hate cereal with marshmallows.
You hate the marshmallows?
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part of Lucky Charms and all that stuff.
It's the worst part. They're good when it's dry and they have that different consistency. They're more crunchy.
Yeah, where they have that flaky crunch.
Yeah, but once they get in the milk and they get all soft like a marshmallow, fuck.
When they get boogery, not as good. You're correct.
I don't like s'mores either.
I am down to 255 pounds. This is the lightest I've been in like 13 years. I'm trying to get under 220, my high school freshman weight. But in fat days, I loved cereal. I still love it. I don't touch cereal, basically. I'll eat it once or twice a year because it's so bad for you. It's garbage. But here's how you get your flaky, crispy marshmallows, Jericho. If you want advice from formerly fat Gabe, you pour a little bit of cereal. You keep the milk out, the gallon out, whole milk. Keep the cereal box out. Get your bowl. Get a large tablespoon. You don't want to be teaspoons of cereal. You want a tablespoon. You want to be fat? I'm going to tell you how. You get that cereal box. You dump a little bit of cereal, like a cup of cereal, splash of milk, crunch, 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 eat it. A little more cereal, a little more crunch, crunch, crunch. Every bite is crunchy. This is the fat way to do things. You understand me? You eat an entire box of cereal this way, and then you just hate yourself when you're done.
That's all right.
You eat an entire box of Lucky Charms, then take a nap afterwards in shame. Oh.
Dude, I don't know. A whole box of Lucky Charms, that might fuck you up. That stuff is the one that has like cleaning chemicals and shit.
Dude, in my 316, the
bad.
highest weight I've ever seen on a scale that I've stood on, even though I'm 6'4" with the broad frame, wide shoulders, 316 was the highest. I could eat a box of Captain Crunch Lucky Charms, no problem. Now I would nap afterwards and feel like dog shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, Fat Gabe sounds fun. Yeah, well, Fat Gabe is no longer here. Okay, no thank you. No thank you. I'm 46 and that's enough of that.
That's enough, sir.
That's enough.
That's enough.
So, I'd like to look down and be able to, I'll say, see my toes. You know?
Yeah. Don't ask for much.
Yeah. So yes, it's a little bit of cereal, a little bit of milk. Eat it. A little bit of cereal, milk, and just keep it crunchy the whole time. That
Make it
is
quick.
professional fat guy way to eat cereal.
Remember that shit. Are you writing this down, people? You fucks.
So do not do that. Do you like what? Because I know you've lost weight. You're looking better since the summer. You've been working on it. And but what is your fat guy shame move? When you ate like just a pig and shit? What is the cereal thing with me? That's embarrassing to admit. What's the worst thing you do? Like when you were eating bad?
When I worked at Trader Joe's, they had these things called apple blossoms, and they came 2 to a box, and they were these little personal Dutch apple pies, and they were delicious. The filling, the crust, they were fucking delicious. So, like I said, there's 2 to a pack, but 2 just wasn't enough. But 3 was. So I would get 1 pack, and then a half of another one, have 3 of them. Throw those bitches in the oven for about 350 for like 20 minutes.
Ooh.
Take them out, hit them with some French vanilla ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah, it was over.
Oh.
Over. They were so good too. Like you wouldn't think they came from a fucking grocery store.
Wow.
They were excellent. And a little vanilla ice cream or a lot of vanilla ice cream, let's be honest.
Wow.
And it was beautiful.
And you wouldn't do this in front of your wife or kids. This was secret shame.
No, this was yeah. After they're all in bed, I went in all their rooms and stuck mirrors under their noses to make sure that they were asleep.
Your wife's like, Jericho, what are you doing downstairs?
Huh? If your response is huh, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Coming to bed. But yeah, on that note, let me go get Junior. I'll be right back.
All right. We will see you in 10, 15 minutes. All right. Jericho has to go pick up his son from the escuela. So anyway, there's a cargo plane from Transylvania. These 2 nervous Nellies flying. And one thing I noticed in the 80s and then into the 90s, they're putting something in the food nowadays, guys, because the men and the women, they looked more adult, more masculine, more developed. Do you know what I'm saying? I see so many people nowadays that they'll tell me they're 37 and they got this round, fat cherub face with no cheekbones and no definition anywhere. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. So yeah, I don't know. When I see people from the 80s and the 70s, they just look so much more adult than people nowadays. I don't know. It's very weird. He wanders back to the back of the cargo plane, and good old Drac comes out of the wooden crate they had him in. Who'd have known? Who'd have known? He comes out. We get some 1987 level CGI, and he turns into a vampire bat, and he flies out the bottom of the cargo plane. I'm waiting for Diesel to show up because I need Diesel. I got Diesel's video ready, and we're gonna play it. Then he goes to the swamp, and he's got a plan. And his plan is he's going to resurrect all of his friends, the Frankenstein, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the mummy, and the Wolfman. He's going to resurrect everyone. They're going to get a hold of that amulet, and they're finally going to get their revenge on Abraham Van Helsing, and they're going to take over the world. That is the plot of this movie. The monsters assemble a team, so the boys assemble a team to stop them. So then we go. Now this is ultimate 80s awesome fun. It's the clubhouse. Hold on, someone text me. Let me see who this is. Sorry, guys. See if this is Jericho telling me something. Oh, I'm getting political ads. 2 Democrats are running for city attorney, but Republicans will decide who wins. Democrat Ferbert has pledged to follow the full California Democratic Party platform. Brian Manchon. Okay. Type stop to stop getting those texts. I'm gonna vote, guys. I'll vote for you. Don't worry. I'm voting. I'm voting MAGA. So don't worry. It's heartwarming to know that Dracula has rights. Yeah, it is. You know, I do wonder, like, about this is a weird thought I've had, and I've had it since I was a little kid. Some of my friends accuse me of thinking too much. I remember playing like Mega Man and other video games when I was a little kid, and thinking like, okay, so there's bad guys in the level. So when I walk Mega Man through the level, there's a bad guy there. But what was he doing before I got here? Because you know the bad guy will be like jumping and jumping and jumping, and then he'll shoot the laser pellet at you or whatever. Laser pellet? I don't think that's a thing. And is he sad when I'm not playing? I would think this is a little kid. Like if I put my Nintendo cartridge in, were the bad guys in the game? Were they happy? Like, oh, good, we get to play, we get to compete, we get to do all this stuff. But I did wonder what the bad guys did. I was very little when I would think these things. I remember the first time I saw a video game. It was a Pac-Man cabinet. It was the 2-player where one person sits on the right, one on the left, and you face each other playing Pac-Man, taking turns. And I remember asking my dad, "Who's controlling the ghosts?" Because I didn't understand. Because I knew the controller would help me move Pac-Man around, but I was like, "How are the who's making the ghosts run around?" My dad told me the computer was doing it, and I didn't understand. But again, in my defense, I was 6. So let's see. Hardy Harmonica says, maybe Hansel and Gretel didn't really escape that gingerbread house. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. Anyway, the Monster Squad, the middle school boys, they have a clubhouse. And the first thing we see is Bad Boy, Billy Badass. He's got binoculars, and he's doing one of the most 80s things of all time. He's spying on the neighbor lady. I had to make sure when I look really close, she's got her undies on. I didn't want any nudity on the channel. But yeah, he's spying on the neighbor gal there as being a very naughty boy. But you knew he was bad when he had the leather jacket and the leather gloves. You knew he was bad when you became friends with him, guys. So he's spying on her, and the kids are sitting there talking. Something's going on. They got Abraham Van Helsing's journal coming to them, and there are monsters in the area. We know it. We know what's going to happen here. Hold on, real quick. Another comment. The mob seat. The computer used to control just the ghost. Now they control everything. Jeez, if that isn't true. Yeah, guys, that's the thing about social media. It is brainwashing. That is what it's designed to do by very, very, very educated, very smart scientists and social engineers. Let me get on a soapbox here and tell you guys, the world before social media that you're looking at on your screen here, this movie, the world of the 80s that I grew up in, we didn't have the cell phones. We didn't have Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And I do think that's a huge line of demarcation. I do think that is when the world changed. I think Obama's first term and the release of the iPhone, that's like a year and a half, that point there. From summer of 2007 is the iPhone. That's like July of 2007. Then Obama gets elected, at the end of 2008, becomes president, beginning of 2009. That is when you can put a line in the history books. They'll look back, 30, 40, 50 years from now and go, oh, that's when society changed. Woke stuff started to explode. Before that, woke was just a nuisance we all made fun of. But the social media made that weird positive feedback loop for the wokesters to go crazy and say and do whatever they wanted. But yeah, now computers control everything, and you are being programmed like animals in a lab where they give them a little bit of drugs or food as a reward, right? The Pavlovian response from the Pavlov's dogs, right? Where every time they heard a bell, they'd start drooling, because what he did is every time he rang a bell, he'd feed them dog food, right? Ding, oh, ding, ding. So now when they hear a bell, they're like, oh, that means food. And they would drool, and they wouldn't get any food. They would just hear the ding and they start to drool. So you are being trained by Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook and all of it. And all of us look at that crap way too much. And you lay in bed and look at it. And then you go, oh, I'm going to put my phone down. I need to go to sleep. It's 11:30 already. I got to get up. You put your phone down. You lay there. Your brain thinks about this, that, and the other. And you're like, I'm just going to check the sports score of the game. You grab your phone, you're on it again for another 20, 30 minutes, doom scrolling on Twitter. So yes, the computers are controlling everything, and we've got to figure it out, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about the phones. Most days I do pretty good. Some days you're on your phone for like 2-3 hours if you add it all up to the day, and that cannot be good, dude. The mob seat says in a few years, people will use AI to make their own movies, and there will be no actors or Hollywood. Yeah, I think we're there. Like the foot is in the door. Like you see that people can make weird, crude, dreamlike movies with AI already. Imagery, I can make anything with Grok AI. Someone in the chat, give me a visual description of something, and I'll make it in Grok AI. I'll make it live for you guys. and here's how you do it. Just give visual descriptions. Say like, a blue robot in a jungle with with big wings on his back. Just someone write in the chat. I'll copy and paste it into Grok, and you'll see what the AI can do. And say what the background is, say what the character is, and say what some of the color is in the image. Somebody write that, and I'll generate it live, and you'll see how good this stuff is already in its primitive state. I'll wait for someone to make a visual description. You say what it is, say what it's doing, say what the colors are in the image, a blue sky with a yellow light underneath, and say what the background is, a Victorian alleyway or an NFL stadium or an industrial factory. Just say that, and we'll put it in the Grok, and you'll see how good this AI stuff is already. We'll put in the first one that comes in. And no, I'm not putting anything dirty in, so forget about it. Don't ask. So now we're getting into the debate for the boys. So like, what's going on? Something's weird's going on. We got to look into this Van Helsing stuff, this monster stuff. Of course, none of the adults believe them. None of the adults believe them. And and this is this is basic screenwriting 101. You have the normal world, the kids in the school, then you have the weird stuff starts going on, and there's a debate always in every adventure movie. There's a debate. Am I going to go on this adventure? Think about Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. He has those government men come up and they tell him, Hitler's after the Lost Ark, and you got to do this, that, and the other. We want you to recover it for us. That's the part of the movie or the story that's called the debate, where we establish the problem, and the hero says, am I going to do this or not? When Luke is talking to Obi-Wan after Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru have been killed by the stormtroopers, and they're deciding if they're going to go to the cantina and find Han Solo and Chewbacca to get the ship, to get off there, to go save the world from Darth Vader and all the bad guys, that is the part of the story called the debate. So it's a very important part of the story. The mob seat said, a T-Rex in a apocalyptic city searches for a gold cup. People are running scared. I'm going to literally copy that and paste that into Grok. You're going to see that. Watch. Okay, hold on. I'll type it in. A red T-Rex. Sorry, I'm looking at a different screen as I type. And a red T-Rex looking for a gold cup. People run and scream. I'll edit that. The background is an apocalyptic city. The sky is red and gray with lightning. Okay. Watch. So we did that live on the air. Look at that. Look at that. Did you see how fast that happened? Now, Mob C, we didn't talk to each other before the show. That was under 10 seconds, dude. So if you think they're not going to be able to make everything, like what are artists supposed to do? Comic books, movies, video games, it's all going to be AI generated easily. And there's no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. There's no way to do it. This is here to stay. So people like me that are artists for a living, you better learn to work with this stuff. Now, that doesn't mean take the art, put it in a comic book and say, hey, that's my art, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't mean that. But imagine you're a farmer, you're whatever, 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, and you have a horse and buggy to do all your farming, to do all your plowing. People say, hey, they got combustion engines. You can get a tractor with a gasoline engine to do this now. And you're like, no, I want to use my ox and my horse. You're going to go out of business if you don't get with the new technology. Like, yeah, but I don't like the new tech. Nobody asked. Nobody cares if you like the new tech. It's here. So I would say, as much as I resent the AI art, I resent that it's stolen art skills from real artists. Because where do you think this thing learned art and drawing and composition? It learned it from training on art from people like me. There's nothing we can do. It's out there now. So you need to learn how to use it. And I do use it for YouTube. My thumbnails for my recorded videos, they're always AI. And instead of searching for the perfect image, I just create it. So yeah, you saw how that worked. You saw that quickly gave us exactly what we wanted. One sec. So just imagine, let's bring it back up. Just imagine you can do that with AI, only now you can do stories. You can tell it to, because you know what I've done for AI? I've already done this to entertain myself. I told it, write me a passage of a book in the style of this writer, and it's about X, Y, and Z. and it writes me a couple 100-word short story that is interesting and makes sense. And I remember sitting on the couch for like an hour, and I just had it writing these stories, and I would tell it what I wanted the stories to be about. But it would surprise me, and it was interesting. So I was already making my own entertainment for free, and I could tell it to write in the voice of like Cormac McCarthy, my favorite author, and it could do it. It could write the way that he wrote in his very ominous, like epic tone that Cormac McCarthy always writes, like the end of the world. If you've ever seen No Country for Old Men, or you've ever seen The Road with Viggo Mortensen, that's Cormac McCarthy. He writes these very crazy, ominous, like ooh, end of the world kind of writing. And I sat there with my iPad and just said, hey, I want a story about this, this, and this, written in Cormac McCarthy style, and it did it. I had it write me a Sherlock Holmes adventure. I said, with Nikola Tesla, and they're trying to find blah, blah, blah. And it wrote me this and that, and it wrote me the clues, and it told me the clues Sherlock Holmes used to figure out the mystery, combined with scientific stuff from Nikola Tesla, and it made sense. So, like, entertainment is like everyone's going to be able to make it. That's crazy. Now, AI will never have the human touch, because the human touch, there's just something about it. You can always tell AI art. You can always, and the AI writing, you can tell it sounds like AI writing. You know, it's a little too, well, golly gee willikers. It's got a little bit of that, too much of that in it for some reason. But I don't think you'll ever be able to completely replace the human touch. So I think the smartest thing I think creators like me can do is cultivate a personal audience, personal relationship with the audience, be good, be a good businessman, always be honest, the customer's always right, and deliver those things that come from the heart. Because there's one thing for the AI to make you the entertainment you want, but if I'm making you something based on the things I believe in, that my life experiences, that can't be replaced. The AI can't say, well, I grew up in this town and I'm from here and that, and this is my story and what I think of life. The AI doesn't have a life, and it can make up a fake one, but you know in your heart and head that it isn't real. And it isn't a real perspective of a real person. So that is irreplaceable as far as I'm concerned. You know, I could be wrong. Let's see. Alpha Proto. I've used AI to rewrite my dialogue in Jamaican dialect, so it's better than studying dialects. Wow. In Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, he goes to a lounge to talk to the ex-girlfriend of the cartel boss, and it's all taking place in Mexico. And she's singing a song in Spanish, and I wrote it. No AI was used. I wrote it in Spanish. And then I sent it to my friend. I emailed it to my friend who lives in Tijuana, who speaks better Spanish than me. And he made like 2 or 3 corrections for me on the grammar. Because there's like the way you would say it if you're reading a dictionary. And then there's the way you would say it if you really lived there, and some of the slang and the local dialect was applied. But he told me he was actually very, very impressed. The song was Dream Love. It was Amor de Sueño, right? That's the love of dreams, right? But she was singing about her dream love, and it would never be, it was unrequited love. It was a sad love song. But it's actually in Dean Cain, All-American Lawman. I don't remember what page. It's like page 30-something. But yes, I actually wrote a song in another language and had a native Spanish speaker make sure I got it right. So the mob seat says, I'm afraid the public won't care if it has the human touch, just like people don't care if music is drum machines and autotune. Normies don't care. You're 100% right. And to me, it's no different than Cheetos. Cheetos are not real food. That's a lab experiment. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? No one cares. Now, you're better off not eating that stuff. I come from a food family. My dad's a gourmet chef for 50 years. My mom's side, we owned a restaurant for 50 years. So I ate all natural food growing up. And hey, listen, I grew up to be 6'4" and all that, and quite healthy, thank God. And I don't think there's a coincidence. I think if you grow up eating junk, it's going to hurt you. And I think the same thing can be applied to your spirit and your mind. If you're consuming just mass market junk constantly, it's going to have a bad effect on your psychology. It just has to. And I think the AI stuff, there is something just like high fructose corn syrup or seed oils. There's that artificialness to it that is bad. And I think if we can have things that feel important and valuable constantly, I think that'll burn out the pleasure centers of our mind. If you can just say, hey, write me Avengers movie part 6. You finish watching it, the AI makes it for you. It's perfect. Okay, make part 7. Okay, make part 8. Okay, make part 9, but now there's a twist and the good guys turn into the bad guys. Okay, make part 9. And you're like, make part 3,900. Like, you're just, I remember my brother. No, my brother Abe is fine. He's a therapist, and he talks to me about some of the experiments. And I don't know who did the experiments or whatever, but there's this one experiment he would tell me about with rats, where they would give them food or liquid cocaine. And eventually the rats would die because they're like, I can go eat the food that I need to eat and the water, or I can go to this other thing and get the liquid cocaine. Don't do drugs. They're very bad for you. And guess what the rats ended up choosing? Well, they end up choosing, they want to just have the drugs over and over and over. And I feel like the pleasure of TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, it's literally giving you a dopamine hit, the acetylcholine, all the pleasure chemicals of the brain. And look how short a TikTok is. Look how short an Instagram reel is. Look how short the videos on Twitter are. And you're just like, oh, another one. It's just like the Lay's potato chips. You can't just eat one. There was that line in Mad Men where John Hamm is talking about, well, what is desire? And I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting. It's like, it's the moment right after pleasure. It's like, and there's a reason it's called instant gratification, because it only lasts for an instant. So this AI stuff, we better learn how to live with it, because I think as a culture, we're not ready at all. We're definitely not ready for the amount of entertainment and pleasure we have available to us. And that's a bad thing. I think we need to mature and gain a lot of spiritual discipline, because I told my wife when the iPhone came out, I remember holding out an iPhone and telling my wife, the minute this thing can give you whatever you want, whenever you want it. I remember telling you can ask my wife if you ever meet her. So the minute this thing can give you whatever you want, whenever you want it, we're done as a people. And look at it now. What can't you get from this? Get on Tinder, get sex, get on DoorDash, get food, get on Instagram, get funny movies, reels, whatever. Like, you can get whatever you want. Almost instant gratification. That is horrific for people. Life is not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to have the hills and the valleys, right? Ups and the downs, and the sweet, sweet moments they're supposed to be rare. That's why dessert is little and dinner is big. And you shouldn't even have dessert at every meal, right? I mean, you shouldn't have a fancy dinner every night. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't burn yourself out. So the AI stuff, for sure, it does have me concerned. It definitely has me concerned of, if we can just give ourselves high quality entertainment like a fire hose, what in the hell is going to happen? Because already there's high quality entertainment made by humans, and there's too much of it. I don't have any streaming. I don't have Disney. I don't have Hulu. I don't have Netflix. I don't have any of that, because I hate the politics they're pushing. I hate the culture they're pushing, so I won't pay them money. But we already have too much. There's more Netflix and Hulu and Amazon than you could ever watch in your lifetime, right? There's got to be millions of hours of crap on there. But imagine if you can just make it on demand in 8K, and there's good acting, lighting, and it all makes sense, and it's well written. That's insane what that could be. So AI will do the same thing the internet does. Make stupid people more stupid, smart people more. Oh, right. Crisis reveals character. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Well, I've got to grab something from right behind me. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, I just had to grab something. I haven't had lunch. I'm quite hungry. Some 7 protein shake. Sorry, guys. Oh, goodness. That's a pro wrestling ref count. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they always jump out right before the 3. That's hilarious. Hold on. Someone's coming in my office. Yes? Yes. Why wouldn't I be okay?
You just ran out here and made a big noise.
I was counting. Thank you for your concern. My wife said she was seeing if I was okay because I ran out here and made a big noise. Just letting the audience know I hadn't left the show. I was counting very loud, down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, and that was a pro wrestling ref count. Anyway, so that's what AI can do. If anyone else wants to see an AI, send a very simple description. You can't get into all the extra superfluous words. Just a robot in a green neon light flying through an asteroid field, eating a bag of popcorn. If you say that, it'll generate it. And you could say, in the style of a Pixar animation movie, you can say that too, and it'll do that. And it's crazy what this thing can do. And if you have Twitter Premium Pro that I have, you can do these basically unlimited. If you have just Twitter Premium, it limits you per day. I don't know what the limit is, but I know there's a limit. But Premium Pro, I just able to make tons of images, and I make them for my thumbnails for YouTube videos. I'll check on the poll. I'm kind of just using a little bit of time here until Jericho comes back. Let's see. Best kids group movie. So we have an adventure movie with young men typically. We have Goonies at 60%, Monster Squad at 12, Lost Boys at 12, Stand By Me at 16. Yeah, I would vote Goonies too. And I think I would vote Stand By Me second. And so I agree with the poll. I heard there's a Goonies show coming to Disney Plus. Don't get your hopes up, right? You know what it's going to be. You know it's going to be woke trash. So there you go. Emily Kruger, not to be confused with Freddy Krueger, in the Monster Squad movie, I find the friendship of Frankenstein's monster and the little sister adorable. Yes, and I don't know if you know Emily Kruger, but that is a nod to the old movie in the book, in the movie from the 30s or whatever. That same thing. And in the Young Frankenstein, the comedy with Mel Gibson that we reviewed on this channel last year, they visit that same sort of concept too. But I agree with you. The friendship of Frankenstein's monster and the little sister is adorable. And as a writer myself, it's necessary. I think that's the main heart of the movie. That's the tenderness and the innocence of this movie. And it's an important thing, being protected, the innocence of that and frailty of that little girl, because she ends up being pivotal later in the story. Mopsy says, yeah, there's always a friendship scene in the original movie that's touching also. I only read the book once. Is that in the book? I feel like it is. I could be misremembering that, though. I only read the book once. It's a great book, Frankenstein. Let's see. Alpha Proto. Monster Squad was not appropriate for me as a first grader. No, absolutely not. Alpha Proto. I like the idea of fighting monsters, but it was the first time I'd heard the word virgin. I didn't know what that was, but from how they acted, I knew it was something I didn't want to be. Oh my goodness. Yeah, not there's a little bit too much in this movie for kids, and just a couple of the scenes. Like Dracula grabs Phoebe, the little girl, at the very end. Spoiler, 30-something-year-old spoiler, and he calls her. He wants the amulet that's opening the portal to limbo where all the monsters will be banished. She's like, give me the amulet, you little bitch. And it's so vicious. She's like 6, and he's like, 50-year-old man. It's crazy. So that damn PG-13 rating again. Yeah, wasn't the movie that they invented the PG-13 rating for? Wasn't it Raiders of the Lost Ark? Isn't that the movie that created that rating? Or was it Temple of Doom? I don't remember. I think it was Temple of Doom. Because before that, you had G, PG, and R. That was it. So PG-13? I don't know. Let me look it up. Monster Squad. The Monster Squad. Let's see, what the hell is this rated? This is rated. What's it rated? I'm looking on Internet Movie Database, and it just has a cast and crew and this. I'll go look on Wikipedia. Do you say Wikipedia or Wikipedia? I say Wikipedia, right? Monster Squad.
Damn it.
Hold on, I'm looking. Is it PG or PG-13? We will find out. Oh my gosh. You know what I'll do? I'll ask the Grok AI. I'll ask it. What is Monster Squad, the movie, rated?
PG-13.
The movie Monster Squad from 1987 has a rating of 6. No.
PG-13.
Is it? He gave me the rating of out of 10 stars,
That's PG-13.
Okay, it's PG-13. I'll take your word for it.
And they got some questionable language in there.
Yeah, it does. Red Dawn was the first PG-13 movie.
Oh, was it?
Temple of Doom banquet scene. Ugh.
Best movie. Makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is what Emily's saying, and what Mopsy is saying is the Temple of Doom was rated PG, but because of it, they created PG-13 for the next thing, for the what was it? What was that John Milius movie? Oh, Red Dawn. So
it was crazy.
Let's see. Have you seen how Apple rates old Popeye cartoons adult because of non-woke content? Oh, people are so obnoxious.
Those are some of the best fucking cartoons ever made. Popeye. Even remember, he took care of his nephews. There's 3 of them.
Strong to the finish because I eat me spinach.
Yeah. Strong to the finish because I eat me spinach. Popeye the Sailor Man. Don't count on him for good grammar, but count on him for a good, good lesson. At the end of the day, good guy wins, bad guy loses.
Right,
look
so
at that.
We didn't get far while you're gone because we started talking about AI and how people are going to be able to create any entertainment they want, and it's going to ruin lives.
Pretty much.
Imagine you're able to create a 4 or 8K movie that's 2 hours long from a couple sentence long prompt. And you can just keep doing that all day and just keep watching movies like a drooling idiot.
That's the way they want it. Wall-E.
Right.
Here we go.
Popeye
this
had
is the clubhouse.
Worst girlfriend ever.
Yeah, she's a bitch. Back and forth. And Popeye, why you keep taking her back? She goes over to Bluto's house. He Bluto's her back out and then comes back to you. Oh, Popeye, with her walking all bow-legged. Then every time, well, blow me down. Popeye. But this is cool right here. The treehouse. Look how cool that shit is. They got like multiple levels, lights, fucking posters. Man, that treehouse was shit.
And a window strategically placed to do some peeping.
Uh-oh.
Now,
That's another
Jericho,
80s movie trope.
Before we went on the air, you told me you were a big peeping Tom when you were a kid. What was that like?
Huge. It was great, man. It started off a little bumpy. I almost got caught a few times, but once I got my routine down, I was one of the best.
Jericho, you opened that tree again.
You know it. If you were getting undressed within a mile radius, I knew about it. That's all I'm going to say. But look at these fucking posters, man. These movie posters, the different configurations they have of them. What a great movie, man. Those cool posters in there.
Yeah. So here's the scene.
That's nice.
They're kind of debating, like, oh, is there monster stuff? Is it real? Is it not? Sean seems to have a bee in his bonnet about this, and people kind of don't believe him,
Which makes sense.
I mean, no, that's good writing. You got to have that.
Yeah.
He wins over his friends, but of course the adults think they're full of beans,
Nothing
Now,
but
one thing I
beans.
missed is Van Helsing's journal. How do we get a hold of that in this movie?
His mom finds it, or somebody finds it in an old house, and his mom gives it to him, who's played by the lady who plays the psychiatrist in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Right.
And plays the secretary in the opening scene of Action Jackson.
Right.
She got it. She acquired it. I don't know if she found it or bought it at a yard sale or something, but it was from an old house in the neighborhood. And it was the coolest thing ever.
Didn't she say it was like Van Halen's journal or something? Instead of Van Helsing?
Van Helsing, mom. And it turned out to be a pretty crucial tool. This movie, look at the house the way it's decorated. That's so fucking 80s. And the mom's dress, her hair.
Look at that mother
Beautiful.
being oppressed, cooking for her family.
She hates it. She'd rather be out being a boss bitch, taking shots.
She'd rather be out staring at Excel spreadsheets for 9 hours a day.
Sounds good with a
And then she
jerk
gets
of a boss.
we can afford a 1.6% raise this year.
All right. Jumping through hoops for another man.
And we're going to have 2 pizza parties at the office this year.
Did you say pizza?
It's Costco pizza. It's good for the price.
But it's pizza, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Are there going to be any 2-liter bottles of Coke, Pepsi, and diet soda?
Yes, many bottles of room temperature 2-liter Dr. Thunder and Mr. Soda.
Come on. Can we get the name brand stuff this time? Please.
And Mountain Lightning.
Get those numbers up, Johnson. Then you'll have Pepsi.
Right.
Until then, it's RC Cola.
Yeah. Instead of spending time with your family and your children, you can do Excel spreadsheets and have Costco pizza twice a year and get a 1.6% raise.
That sounds great. Or you
get 3 paid sick days, Jericho. What's not to love?
Hey, use them every quarter or every.
Yeah, but I will need a doctor's note if you call sick, because I am here to treat you like a fucking child, even though you're 39.
Make sure it's pinned to the front of your shirt when you come in.
Right.
So I know that your mommy gave it to you.
Right.
Or you could be, filled with love and, being at home and your kids coming home. And
I've never had a real job, like a real office job. I worked at Home Depot when I was a college student. And when I quit Home Depot in the spring of 2004, I was a professional illustrator. I'd gotten a contract for $9,000 or $10,000 to draw 4 kids' books, and it was enough money for me to quit. I've been an artist full-time since then. So You know, I worked at Home Depot and cardboard box factory, and I was a construction worker, and I had all those kind of high school jobs. But I've never had a job where you go in, there's HR and there's blah, blah, blah. When I worked for Warner Brothers in the studio, it was a corporate job in an office and all that. But we were artists for DC Comics. So even though the office, Wildstorm DC Comics, opened at 7 a.m., I'd get there at 8:30, and I would usually be the second person in the building. I get there an hour and a half late. Then I'd get a coffee and hang out in editor Ben Abernathy's office till like 9. Then I'd go over to my desk at 9, check my email, do all kinds of other shit, and then go get a coffee at 10. So it's like, you know what I mean? Some of the guys that worked in the concept art department, they wouldn't show up until 10. Office opens at 7. They wouldn't show up till 10. Take lunch at noon, come back at 2 or 3, go home at 5 or 6. Like it was a joke working in the office. And it should be, because they don't care. As long as you do stellar artwork and you just turn it in on time, what do they care if you're 8 hours at your desk? Like, it doesn't matter. So
yeah, definitely not the typical office environment.
No. So I've never had that oppressive, oh, if you're gonna miss work, then we need a doctor's though. Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't imagine being treated that way. I've never had to go through that. So, but like, to me, it's offensive. It's like, dude, I'm an adult. Like, it's my life. Like, I don't live to work. Jeez. You know, so
especially with the family.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's important. So important.
All right. Okay. You got any explanation for this hot rod that Dracula drives? Hey, your mic's off.
The hot rod hearse?
Right.
It's cool, man. What more do you need to know?
I don't know.
I like it pulls up and the headlights go off. And Dracula, I've never seen Dracula drive. That was the first. Never seen Dracula drive a vehicle, so that was cool. But he's going there to assemble his crew, to the rest of his boys. The Mummy, Frankenstein, Werewolf, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. So he's getting his people together. He's the first one there, because that airplane, he turned into a bat and flew out of the airplane,
right,
and landed in like this swamp or whatever. So that's where he got Frankenstein and the creature from the lagoon. So this is Dracula assembling his team.
Let me, I got to grab something from right behind me. It'll take me like 30 seconds, but if you want to go ahead and do this, it really will take me under a minute, but it's right here in the office with me. I got to grab it. But yeah, Dracula shows up. He's going to go resurrect all his dead evil monster buddies. And then we finally meet the father, who's a cop, and I'll be right back. I got to grab something.
Yeah, the dad, he's a cop. So, of course, typical cop portrayed in the movies, and maybe this is true in real life, but you know, his being a police officer, you're being called to emergency situations, which means you might need to be pulled away quite often from your actual family to go help somebody else's family. So that's become a bone of contention between him and his wife. But his son is sitting here asking him to watch this monster movie. And his dad's basically giving him shit, saying, oh, let me guess, he's going to do this and this. He's like, yeah, that was part 7, and there's a part 9. It's this, you know, movie franchise that his son's a big fan of, but his dad thinks it's ridiculous. And I think because he was in the principal's office earlier and he got in trouble, he's not allowed to watch the movie. But then his dad's like, hey, I'll take you tomorrow. And he's like, oh, tomorrow? Come on, Dad. That's one of the worst words you can hear as a kid is tomorrow. But come on, Dad, I want to watch it tonight. I don't want to wait till tomorrow, but tomorrow it'll be too late. And he's like, hey, sorry, son. And he fucking his dad sitting in his bedroom. His dad takes out a cigarette, lights a cigarette, and he's like, I thought you quit smoking. And I can't remember what his dad said, but he asked his dad, he says, what are you going to do tonight? And he goes, I think tonight's couples counseling with him and the kid's mom. So that's what they're doing. So their marriage is on the rocks. The dad's a cop. But he's still a good father to his son. The mother's still a good mother to her kids, as you saw in the other scene where she was in the kitchen cooking and making dinner and shit. Dad, he's sitting there having quality time with his son, talking to him, you know, teaching him a lesson that, you know, when you get in trouble, when you do something wrong, no matter what level it's on, there's going to be some punishment, you know. And right now you want to see this movie, but you can't because you fucked up in school. So, but then he's still cool and says, you know, hey, maybe I'll take you tomorrow. So the kid's he's still going to get to see the movie, but not when he wants to. And trying to teach him a lesson that, when you mess up, you got to pay straight up. And the dad, they're starting to get these calls. Hey, there's a guy at the police station who thinks he's a werewolf. And hey, there was a mummy that was stolen from a museum. And so all these things are starting to happen. And now we have the creature from the San Diego Lagoon.
I wanted to clear up a few rumors. Did you have any questions for me about this movie?
How was it on set with all those alpha monsters? You guys ever get any fights or anything?
I felt like there was a lot of anti-fish sentiment. People accused me of being a DEI hire. They said, "Oh, we got to hire someone from the ocean," and I'm like, "Well, I'm from a swamp," and they're like, "Nah, that's good enough." So I felt really disrespected right off the bat.
Not cool, man. I think now. Oh, well, it was back then, but now I wish maybe you guys could remake this movie because you wouldn't have to put up with those kind of things on movie sets now. There's no anti-water, foul water beings, whatever group you fall into. You would be accepted, you would be heard, and you would be uplifted. So I only wish that you were able to make the movie now.
Well, I don't think I would remake it because I haven't talked to Dracula since we made the movie. And he was denied his role in Blade. He was originally going to be the main vampire. And I kind of sent him a note making fun of him when he didn't get that role. So I don't think he's cool with me anymore.
Well, a lot of time has gone by. It might be time for you guys to rekindle, like getting the band back together, doing a little reunion tour, getting back on set and making some quality entertainment for the kids. Don't you think that would overshadow this monster beef?
I don't make these movies for kids. I hate kids.
Well, it didn't come through in the movie. You guys seem like, even though you weren't very kind to the kids, I still felt like there was maybe some tenderness there off camera. Is that not true?
I was trying to eat that kid Horace. He was very unprofessional when we were filming. He kept eating my lunch at the craft services area.
Well, I mean, he's a kid. You couldn't keep a child from taking.
That's what you heard? Yeah, you think he's a kid. He plays the innocent babe in the woods routine. He smokes. He brought drugs on the set.
Did you say anything when you saw this child ingesting drugs?
Well, I'm exaggerating. It was not drugs. It was his inhaler, but he kept messing with it during shoots, so I didn't like it.
So you think maybe he was inhaling some kind of illicit substance?
I think he was just helping himself breathe.
Oh, so then he didn't really do anything wrong.
No, I think it was me. I think I had a lot of. You got to understand, the swamp in South America, there's a lot of cocaine going on back in the 80s.
Yeah, a lot of it probably ended up in the water supply.
Right.
Then you're hooked on it. Then you're missing rehearsals.
It's
you're
my
not
fault.
being very professional.
We found a key floating.
Yeah, you're sucking fish dicks for.
Hey, that's a rumor. That is an unsubstantiated rumor.
Well, actually, I was just kind of asking a question, but the fact that you were so defensive about that lets me know that you probably were.
I don't have to put up with this. I'm here as a favor to Gabe.
Well, hold on. Wait, don't leave because we're trying to get to the bottom of this. We want you to get it out. We want you to talk about it. We want to be your therapist, so to speak. I feel like this is a really good opportunity. So if you found yourself sucking fish dicks for more of the cocaine tainted water, that's all right. Is that what was going on? Because to fix the problem, we need the truth. Were you sucking fish dicks in the 80s?
I was sucking down fish sticks. See, they always misinterpret the quote. I was eating.
When you say it fast, it doesn't sound like
fish
sticks. Well, then what about the part where it says? What about the part where it says sucking though? That says sucking. That doesn't say anything.
Hey, well, if you're eating something fast, you say, "Oh, he's sucking those down."
Oh, well, they left down out of there. It just says sucking fish dicks on my notes here. So you weren't sucking the dicks of fish.
That's fake news. I was sucking down fish sticks at Long John Silver's.
Oh, you didn't want to get him out of the water. You didn't want to. So had you been on set, you become a celebrity, your head got big, and now you're too good to eat food with the other aquatic life. Is that true?
It's
Here we go. Now we're
it's
getting
not that
somewhere.
I'm too good. It's that they're bad.
Now
That's
we're
what it
getting
is.
somewhere. Now we're making some progress. So you think those fish are bad? Why? Because they weren't as successful as you.
Right. No, because they're all jealous of me. They all wanted to be in the picture, but I'm the one that got into the movie.
So you think all the other fish have a bone to pick with you because they weren't chosen for that iconic role in
I
this
see the
iconic
way
movie.
they side eye me when they swim by. I know they're jealous.
But that might be because the fish's eyes are on the side of their head.
That is beside the point. Even the flounder that had the eyes on both sides, he was giving me crusty looks.
Wow, we're using the word side a lot. I don't like it. So basically, how would you rate, if you had to give it a letter grade, what was your experience on the set of Monster Squad?
I give it an A.
So despite the harassment from Horace, his alleged drug use, it might have been drugs, it might have been
It was an inhaler. I was being unfair.
the jealousy from the other aquatic life,
Right.
despite all that, it was an A.
Right.
All right. That's
I loved it. I love my time there.
Very roundabout way to get there. But thank you. I'm glad you opened up. I'm glad that we made progress. I'm glad that you admitted that, hey, maybe it's me. I think if more people did that, the world would be a better place, whether it be the underwater world or the above world.
All right. Well, I'm glad.
Come on.
I just want to say
Come on.
I'm glad we were able to connect, and I really respect what you do.
Hey, and I appreciate that. I want to have you back. But next time we have you back, can you promise not to cry?
It's a deal.
Okay, thank you. Because males who cry, if it's not a wedding, a birth, or a death, it makes me angry. All right, thank you everybody for hanging out with Mr. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I go by B Lagoon now. It's my professional name.
B Lagoon. All right, B dot Lagoon. Sorry,
That's my handle on Twitter, at B Lagoon.
At B Lagoon. Give him a follow. Let him know what you thought of Monster Squad. More importantly, let him know what you thought of the growth that he showed here on Double Impact.
Thank you.
Hey, remember we said no.
Right.
No more crying. All right. Thank you. That was amazing. So you people, you come here. You come here for movie reviews. You come here for a little food talk, because you're going to get that. You didn't think that you would be seeing an arc. You didn't think that you would be seeing a creature from another world start in one place and then end up so far down the road to recovery. And that's just one of the many things you get here when you tune in every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to Double Impact.
I felt like I was watching Oprah, man. That was powerful.
It was. Had I had a box of tissue, to send over there to him, I would have. But again, not a big fan of the crying. He needs to stop that shit.
Right.
If we're going to have him back.
The mob we should have got this in. Does it make you a minority since you're from the Black Lagoon?
That's a very hurtful statement.
Well, no, I talked to him before he came on the
tolerated.
show because he had messaged me on Facebook. Like, who does Facebook? He messaged me on Facebook to come on, and he told me he had recently left the Black Lagoon. He was in the White Lagoon now. So he said he's, so.
They always do.
Yeah, so.
They always do. As soon as they get a little money, they move to the White Lagoon.
Right.
Fuck that.
Oh my God, it was hot inside of that thing.
Dude, I bet. I bet.
That's what I'm going to be for Halloween. The creature from the Black Lagoon out on the town. I have my nice black Calvin Klein suit. So it'll be this mask with a well-fitted black suit and tie.
Because, sometimes he wants to put on his Sunday best.
Let him show off a little.
Yeah. I like that.
Do you still put on anything when you take the kids out for candy or no?
I usually put on a bathrobe, some pajamas.
That's hilarious.
They gave me a blue wig one year. They thought that was hilarious.
I remember my son gave me a blue and white luchador mask, but it was too tight, so it was like splitting on the back of the head. I think it was for a kid or something.
We got to humor them from time to time.
Right.
So that's what I do. And it's fun. Our neighborhood A lot of the houses go all out, man. They go crazy with the Halloween decorations. So cool. We usually go out, go trick or treating, and then come back, and the kids are all excited to hand out candy to all the other kids.
Yeah, I love it. It's not the same as when we were kids, man. You look out onto the street anywhere in America where you live, you would think there are no children. Where's the street football? Where's the street baseball? Where's just the playing army men? Or like, there's no one playing outside almost ever. It's anywhere you go. It's crazy. It's sad.
Yeah, my son, he has a little hoop out there. The ones where you like fill the base with water or whatever. He has one of those out there, so he likes to play. We played yesterday, matter of fact. And I keep him outside. He's been riding his bike the past few days of school. He trades between the bike and the scooter. So I try to keep it old school. I try to keep it old school, Get your ass outside.
Yeah, it's a sad thing to see that there's not gangs of 5, 6, 7 kids playing ball outside anymore. It's really sad.
And this movie harkens back to that. Those kids are outside like most of the fucking movie, just doing shit, just doing stuff, probably getting in some trouble, but just being outside being kids.
Right. So moving forward, the dad is smoking in the house and he's going to counseling with the mom. So that's a good plot thread to establish. It's a B story is what they call it in writing. Are the mom and dad going to split up? Is this family going to have a divorce? Like, that's a tiny little story they plant in here. And of course they're not. You can predict that. And it'll help be resolved by what happens in the movie. So, and that's a great way to add. For those of you out there that are aspiring writers, this is called a B story. You add a second little interesting character thing that doesn't have anything to do with the main story per se, and you can get some more mileage out of your characters that way. So, yeah, in Dean Cain All-American Lawman Volume 1, the B story is the son and the dad, Chris Tanaka and his son Blake, and the volleyball game. And Chris being afraid to be a substitute backup player and then now having to be a starter because of injury. And are they going to win the state championship or whatever in volleyball? And that story parallels the braveness that Chris Tanaka has to show when he takes on the cartel. So B stories you need to have them, I think, in adventure movies because they add depth, they add reality, they make the story more fleshed out and full. So Kramer versus Dracula. All right. Court is in session. The Honorable Count Dracula presiding. He's like doing divorce court. Count Dracula.
So, how much custody would you like of your child?
He's granting visitation right and setting alimony limits. And
you will pay 25% of your monthly income.
You will pay 1, 2, 3, 4. He counts all the way up. 7% of your income.
I get it. I get it, Your Honor. Count Honor. I get it. You have not let me get to the best part, the splitting of your things.
Your wife will have custody 2 weeks a month, and you will have custody the other 2. 1, 2.
And let's talk about the alimony. You will pay not 1, not 2, but 3% of your income until you get another man, and then your husband does not have to pay you a dime.
Don't they have to marry the other guy though, right?
I'm not sure. And I know palimony, you got to pay that shit for life. So even if your wife, she left you, got with somebody else, he has a job.
Well, let's say she cheated on you, took your house, took your dog, took your car, like a country song.
Yeah, you went from a 4-bedroom house on an acre with all kinds of toys to a 1-bedroom apartment in a questionable part of town, and you have to get a new job and all of these things in order to, real Mrs. Doubtfire style.
You're eating beans standing over the sink out of a can.
Yeah, but you're still paying her every month, and she's married to somebody else.
If I had to give a woman money the rest of my life, then I'm bringing over laundry and shit and picking up dinner every night.
Yeah, it's not going to suck itself, lady. Did that check clear? And then what kind of man are you to accept money from her ex-husband?
Can you imagine your wife, Jericho, is living with another guy and they're out buying this and doing that, and it's your dime?
Yeah. Yeah, your money that you give her every month is like their vacation fund. They always hashtag thanks, ex-husband.
Can you imagine that guy? You see him in traffic. He has a better car than you, and you're the one paying the note on it, dude.
Yeah, and it's a convertible, and he's listening. There ain't nothing but a
A
good
good
time.
time.
Fucking prick. You fucking prick. You got to go back in with your mom and dad. Ugh, you know? I'm not saying he should have did it. Like Chris Rock says, I'm not saying he should have did it, but I understand.
Oh, you talking when he's joking about OJ watching Nicole drive around town in his like
That's right.
Ferrari and
I'm not saying he should have did it, but
her and
I
that.
understand.
What did Chris Rock say? He said something like her and that Ron Gold. They're out eating steaks on OJ's dime and
Yeah, driving around in a Ferrari that he bought her. He's driving. He was driving her car. She's sitting shotgun while this guy Ron Goldman is driving the Ferrari that he got her. $25,000 a month in alimony. That's a lot of money, and that's back in '90s. You know, the early '90s, early
yeah,
mid-90s.
that's 1994 pre-Biden inflation money.
And 25 G's a month just for kicking it. So you don't have to do shit. Imagine somebody just giving you $25,000 a month.
Right.
Where you're gonna go shop? How much do kids cost? You're not spending anywhere near $25,000 a month on your damn kids. You only have like 2 of them.
I don't know if you know this. You might, because there's many Indian reservations in California, but people of certain Native American heritage that's proven, and they're in the tribe and they're registered and all that. Some of them, the Indian reservation makes so much money from the casino, literally getting 5-figure checks a month. There's, I know there's like Palm Springs Indians, and you know Palm Springs is a bajillion-dollar resort town. There's casinos over there and all that. And I have family that knows some of the Indians that live there, and they're getting 5-figure checks every month for life once they turn 18, just for being an Indian and living on that land. You know,
come on.
Yeah.
Like you did, nothing happened to you. Why do you get that money?
Right.
That's crazy. Damn. So even if it was just 5 figures, so let's say it was just 10 grand. It could be 15, 20, 25, 30, whatever. Well, let's just say it was $10,000 a month, tax free. That
120
deposited into your account every month. Like you'd have to find something to do with your time not to fucking get in trouble. Because that's a good amount of money. That's a good amount of money every month. And imagine being single, making 10 grand a month for nothing.
Right.
You better find something to do with your time. You're gonna end up fucking dead.
Idle hands do the devil's work.
That's right, son of a bitch.
As a married man, anyone who's been with a woman in any capacity almost of dating, romance relationships, we call this look the frump.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going now? Where are you going now? That's what that look says. Where are you going? But remember they're supposed to go to couples counseling, but he got a call from the station. That's his partner. And go, sweetheart. What about our counseling? Sorry. You always put that before us.
Alpha Proto says he watched a John Stossel, that reporter guy, story of how that universal basic income to Native Americans leads them to hopelessness and alcoholism. I do know that there's a lot of sad stories on the res. My wife lived on the res as a youngin'. She lived on the Rincon Indian Reservation here in San Diego. And she told me there's a lot of struggles there. We'll put it that way. A lot of struggles. So, yeah, I could imagine if you handed me 10 grand a month at 18 and I didn't have to work for it, that would be a moral challenge.
That's what I mean. You'd have to motivate yourself to find something to do because, man, you know, that's it. That's all you need right there. And then some. 10 grand a month by yourself, 18.
That's enough. That's
enough to get in some fucking trouble. That's what that's enough for.
Yeah.
That's enough to be showing off for people, spending a bunch of money, having them use your ass. That's what that's for. That's what kind of money that is. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah, and oh no, we're helping. We're giving you money. Not really. You're hurting them.
Right.
Pretty bad.
That's something, you know. I don't know. All that stuff is weird, reparations and all that. Like everybody everywhere on earth is standing on stolen land. The land goes to the victors. That's just how it is everywhere, man.
Everywhere on the planet.
Nobody's an OG on 1 square inch of this planet, dude.
Oh, that's how it works. Especially, 100 years ago, thousands of years ago. I bring my army or my horde of bandits and marauders or whatever. My army, we kick your ass. What else are we gonna do? We kicked your ass. So now we're gonna take all the shit we want, including your women, slaves, your property, your valuables, your country. Because if you could stop us, you would have stopped us, but you couldn't. So now it's mine. Now
Right.
we're going to change. Now, Los Angeles belongs to America now
Right.
because we kicked your ass, Mexico.
Right. This was Mexico all the way up to what, Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way up
The
to
whole half out here, the whole side of America was Mexico, all the way up to Canada, basically.
La Mesa, all kinds of Texas and all that shit. But like I've said for years, Mexico, if you wanted, but people that say, oh, this is Mexico's land. This is actually Mexico. Hey, Mexico, take it back.
Take it back.
Go take it back. Line up
Take
your
it back.
Mexican
What's
army,
happening?
your Mexican Navy, and your Mexican Air Force and fucking attack us. Start bombing. Please start with LA or San Francisco and just bomb us. Or you can go up to Seattle, Portland if you want to start hitting those places first. Do it. Bomb us. Attack us. Go off the coast and lob artillery at the coast of California. And then we're going to start doing that back. And it's going to be over in like 24 hours. And then we're going to
To
have
the
more of
victor
Mexico.
go the spoils.
Then we're going to have more of Mexico. Now Ensenada is in.
Right. Yeah, when we took Mexico, we should have taken the Baja Peninsula.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah, now Puerto Vallarta, that belongs. Mazatlan now belongs to America.
Right.
So please do, Mexico. We'd love to have those places.
Yeah,
belong
that'd be
to
nice
us.
because then we'd have some subtropical land, right? Because you pass the Tropic of Capricorn as you head down to Puerto Vallarta and all that. You actually get into the tropics. So
Yeah, that'd be cool. So start some shit, Mexico. We can fucking start like Trader Joe's down there and shit.
Well, they're taking it back now with Kamala's border. They're just coming across, and
Well, I think we're giving it back.
you know what's pissing me off? San Diego, America's finest city. It is not a liberal hellhole. It's very conservative, more military than any other city on the planet. We're the home of the Navy. We're the home of the Marines. There's so many military people here. It's a conservative city. But we have more Mexicans coming in. And I notice on the streets, and I'm Mexican myself, so save it. People want to say something racist. I'm fucking half Mexican, so shut the hell up. I see those food carts that you see in Mexico, unlicensed, all that, and they're out now in San Diego, and they were never here before. It's a silver cart, about 6 feet wide with a rainbow umbrella over it, and they're selling fresh fruit, I saw one the other day, said they were selling pulque. Do you know what pulque is?
No.
It's
Sounds
grain
illegal.
alcohol from corn. You cannot sell alcohol in a cart on the street.
No, you can't.
You can sell it at an alcohol store, a grocery store, or in a bar that has an alcohol license. This dude was selling pulque on the street like this is Tijuana.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing? Are there any laws here?
Yep.
And I go to a strip mall and there's like real restaurants there. And in front of them on the sidewalk is a taco cart. We did not have this a year ago. And now I've seen about 5 or 6 in town now. And a mayor, he actually passed a law that like downtown, they're not allowed to do those carts because if you let them, they'd fill it with those carts.
Yeah. And I hate it when people say, well, they're just trying to make a living. So what if they don't have a permit? They're working harder than Americans. Well, guess what, bitch? In America, you got to have a permit to sell shit on the street. So get your fucking permit.
Right.
If you don't have one, and they say that when the cops come along and take their shit or dump their food out because there's no health department, there's no health code. You haven't been graded by the health department. And they dump their food out on the fucking street. People are like, oh, that's fucked up. Then get a permit. We got to have a permit. We can't go out there and start selling shit on the sidewalk. You fucking turd. Get a permit. If you can't get a permit, then you can't sell shit, bitch. That's the American way.
But yeah, there was a
Bring that
silver
shit up
cart,
here.
6 feet silver cart with the rainbow. They usually just sell tacos or fruit. Like
Fuck that.
they sell the chopped up fruit with the spices on it. This one had white and blue painted sign that said pulque. Is a traditional Mexican alcoholic beverage made from the fermented sap of the agave plant.
That's
You
tequila.
can't do that. That's like, you can't sell booze on the street like that. It's illegal.
Yeah. We have laws here that say you can't do that. Don't bring that third world shit up here. And another reason that a thing that we have in America is called recourse. So if I go to your business and I get violent diarrhea because you didn't wash your hands or there's a salmonella outbreak, we can trace that back to you and there can be restitution paid. If you're some unlicensed fucking cart that just picks up and you're in a different spot every night, you can't do that. Fuck that shit, man. Shut all that shit down.
Right.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it because, again, it's not fair to people who spend a lot of money, jump through all the hoops, get all the permits, do it the right way,
Mhm.
open their little family-owned Japanese restaurant, and then someone plops a taco stand, cheaper food right in front of their place.
No, it's
That would
that's
piss
undercutting.
me off. I'm inside my family-owned little diner. I'm looking out my window. 8 feet away, someone's selling tacos, $1.50, $2 each, just eating all my business.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, dude.
Yeah, kids selling lemonade. Kids should be the only ones allowed to sell without a permit because they only sell lemonade.
Yeah, just lemonade, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, leave them alone.
What are they going to make like $20 in the afternoon? Like, who cares? That's a good exercise for kids.
Yeah,
But
leave
if you're
'em
sitting
alone.
there selling pulque on the major street in San Diego, that's like, you can't do that.
Can't do
Holy
that.
shit, dude.
Laws. We have laws in this country.
That was yesterday I saw that. And it's only been like the last 6 months I've seen these food carts. So it
Yes.
pisses
Make that
me
shit.
off, though.
You're not supposed to be here. Get the fuck out. And I hope Trump, when he gets elected, he sticks to that mass deportation. I think a better way to do it, instead of like actually grabbing people and fucking, which is going to be the optics are going to be terrible. But if you squeeze the businesses that they work for, there's no work, they're not going to be here, and just cause them to self deport, which would be
Right.
cooler. Either way, no matter how we do it, even if it's Elian Gonzalez style, the fuck out of here.
Right. And for those of you that need a visual, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about here, real quick.
I love visual.
Yeah, baby.
Love a good visual.
Just like a cart like that. It's like a cart of food.
I
Sometimes
take
they're
that.
selling tacos. Sometimes they sell what we call sometimes a con todo. That means with everything. And it'll be chopped up melon and chopped up mango, chopped up this, that, and the other. And then they'll put spicy like syrup on it and a little bit of that like tahini powder. And so. But yeah,
Take that, shove it up your ass.
you import the third world, you become the third world,
That's right.
So
They're not going to assimilate and become American. You can believe that shit.
you know who are some of the most staunch people against illegal immigration? The
Immigrants.
Mexicans that immigrated here legally.
Yep.
Can't stand it.
Yep.
Ask my
Yeah.
wife's dad, who did it right, paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Ask him what he can't stand seeing this shit. Play by all the
Rightfully so.
rules, waited, the money, the paperwork, all the shit you got to do. And then other people's like, I'll just cut the line.
Fucking hop the fence, man. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Don't stand in line like these other fools. Hop the turnstile. Come on
Right.
in, dummy.
Right.
Especially when they're begging you to come in here.
It's an absolute disgrace. Where's
Begging.
Diesel? I'm going to play Diesel's video. Then we'll get back to the movie. We'll have to start making some hay because it's already 3:20.
Yeah, let's do this.
Present video file. Now, as you know, I'm a Denver Bronco fan, and Diesel, one of the regulars here, he is a
Oh, boy.
Raider fan. The Denver Broncos destroyed the Raiders.
Hey,
And we had a bet, Diesel and I, and I made Diesel. One of us had to make this video, depending on whose team lost. My team won big, so Diesel had to make this video. Let's all watch it, and if you see Diesel, tell him I played his video because I don't know if he's coming in or not. Here we go. Here comes the Raider fan, Diesel.
All right, to my brother
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Gabe, I bow down this time to your donkeys. You guys whooped our ass. I have to admit it. It was a shameful thing to watch. Breaks my heart, but I was pretty fearful of it. I mean, we beat you guys 8 games in a row. That's pretty remarkable if you ask me. But not this time. The donkeys prevailed. Hats off to you. And congratulations. And you're acting like you won the fucking Super Bowl.
Oh, throw that in there, huh?
You had to throw in the little rib.
Yeah,
punch
throw that in there. Hey, that's how it works. As a man, you make a bet, you make a wager, and if you lose, hey, you got to pay the piper, man. So congratulations to him. And I know that hurt.
Right. That had to hurt. So anyway, the dad has to go to the police station because something's going on. We go to the police station. We meet this gentleman, detective. I forget his name. I've seen him in a million movies, though, in the 80s and 90s.
He's like, if they can't get Ernie Hudson, get this
Oh,
guy. He'll take care of you.
It's Bernie Hudson. That's right.
No, Ernie is.
No, this is Bernie. This is
Oh,
Bernie.
yeah.
Hudson.
It is Bernie. Yeah, if you can't get Ernie, you go ahead and call Bernie. He's half the price.
Right.
But still, he'll come through. He can act real good. Not quite Ernie. If you can't get Ernie, get Bernie. I think it said that on his business card.
Yeah.
If you can't get Ernie,
It says not Ernie Hudson, Bernie.
that's right.
Right. And then
Bernie's
this guy
dead.
comes in telling all the cops acting crazy, wiling out, that they have to
Mhm.
arrest him. They have to arrest him. He's crazy. He's a monster. He's a
He's a
werewolf.
werewolf.
Obviously, they think he's on PCP or something.
Yeah, obviously, because you can't.
And he gets
say-
shot, right? This guy?
Yeah, he ends up wrestling with the cops. Pulls a gun, shoots a few rounds in the air, and another cop just fucking 10x, boom, 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 takes him down
Line
right
him up,
there. Call the coroner.
kill him. Or so
Outta
they
here.
think.
Mhm.
But it wasn't a
Damn
silver bullet.
werewolves.
And the dad and Bernie Hudson, they head to the museum because the Egyptian mummy is missing.
Mhm.
And then we cut to the city, and there's a mummy slowly lurching and dragging its foot down the street.
Mhm.
And here comes the ambulance, and there's a dead guy in the back. But no, the blanket's covered in blood. They start to stir. You see his hand come out, and it's all covered in hair. And then his feet bust through his sneakers, and there's long yellow toenails and a big hairy
Mhm.
foot. And then it's a great jump scare. Wolfman jumps out of the back.
Yeah, and a pretty cool, pretty decent looking wolfman or werewolf.
I
I
feel
guess
like
there's
his
some
eyes
kind
are a
of
little far
difference.
apart.
A little bit, but pretty decent. And he, classic Walkman. I love the Walkman trope. There's chaos going on around when he's listening to whatever heavy metal or Poison or whatever shit he's listening to, and he can't hear this dude turning into a werewolf behind him, and it's too bad because his ass gets killed.
Now I like this shot here, even though it looks fake as hell.
Yeah,
I mean, do they live on a cliff?
he lives in the Cliff neighborhood.
I guess.
You have to, you didn't
Like,
see
how
it in
would
the
you ever
opening
get
credits.
that view of the drive-in movie theater with nothing down to the left in front of your house?
You didn't get that in the very beginning of the opening credits. They clearly stated that they live in the Cliff neighborhood.
I guess.
So pay attention next time, dude.
Right. Yeah. So he's watching a horror movie up there, and because remember, he wanted to go see a movie with his dad, but his dad had to go check on the mummy madness.
Yeah.
No,
the werewolf. No, what came first, the werewolf or the mummy? I think the
well,
mummy, right?
the wolf happened first at the police station, but then they were at the museum.
Yeah.
That was the order of the scenes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
right, and then the ambulance driver, he's dead. The Wolfman got away. Wolfman Jack got away, baby.
Ow!
Right. So, and his name was Stan Shaw Bernie Hudson. That's his full name, Stan Shaw Bernie Hudson.
This is government name.
That's his government.
If you can't get Ernie, get Bernie.
If you can't get Ernie, make sure you call Bernie.
Hey, and I'll stand by that. He's a good guy.
Right.
In a pinch, Bernie will handle his business.
Right. So we cut to the swamp. Dracula shows up in his hot rod hearse, and he pulls out like a cane, and he's doing some magic stuff with it. And the creature from the Black Lagoon rises from the water, lifting a box that says Frankenstein.
Yes, because in the airplane, remember, he threw the box out and it landed in the swamp. So he needed the creature from the Black Lagoon to excavate the casket.
Do we know where the creature came from, though?
He was just hanging out in the fucking swamp.
All right.
Waiting to be activated.
Where in America does this movie take place? I don't know. What do they say?
It just says present day. So just, small town America.
Okay. Somewhere
It happens everywhere. Everybody's small town,
And it's Springfield. Any town, USA.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So they
present
pull
day.
Frankenstein out, and you get the first group of the first shot of the Avengers here.
Mm-hmm.
Dracula, a very skinny mummy. I guess he's dead. He's just dust and bone. So I guess it makes sense he's skinny. A very good. I do think the makeup for the creature is fantastic in this movie.
Agreed.
It's so much better than the Wolfman. The Wolfman is like his eyes are too far apart. I don't know. And that shirt looks nice and fresh that the Wolfman has. Like they cut it with scissors. It doesn't look like it's really worn out. It looks like a Party City Halloween costume. The shirt. I don't like that.
Hey, step up your fucking Wolfman costume game.
Right. But yeah, I do think the creature looks amazing. They put Frankenstein down and they're going to resurrect him. So Dracula, he pulls out, I don't know if he's got a little bit of magic powder or something inside the skull on his cane.
What's that supposed to mean?
He does something to Frankenstein. They call down some lightning.
Bam.
That's a great shot there, the lightning shot.
Mhm.
And
Plenty of
Frankenstein.
lightning. If you're a lightning buff, you're gonna like this movie.
This movie has some of the best lightning for 1987 horror movies. I rank it
Actually,
third out of 17 1987 youth horror movies. Third best lightning scene.
and it won in 1987 for the Weather Awards. It won Best Lightning Strikes.
The Webbies? Have you ever been to the Webbies?
I haven't been that lucky yet. I haven't been that blessed. But they won Best Lightning Strikes.
If you could take
1987.
any supermodel to the Webbies as your date, who would it be? And you can't say your mom.
Of course not. She's way more beautiful than all those models. Way better than those models.
Do you think if you took a supermodel to the Webbies as your date, you could steal a kiss?
Of course, I try to steal a kiss, but I am a little bit nervous. Nervous about stealing kisses.
I'd wear my lucky bow tie. Ladies can't resist it.
You're definitely going to be stealing some kisses when you wear
Right.
your lucky tie and stuff.
Maybe I shouldn't wear the bow tie. It might overcome her and she might not be able to resist me and she wouldn't be able to keep her hands off me all night long.
That's the plans. That's the plans.
You remember before you had any experience with the girls talking to your buddies about what it might be like and how idiotic those conversations were?
Having no idea.
You had no clue about anything, but you kind of thought you knew.
You thought you fucking knew.
You thought, yeah.
But you were way. I was way off. You were way off base. But hey,
It's like when you're going to visit somewhere exotic and far away, maybe a foreign country, and you got the idea of it from magazines, books, pictures, internet, and then you finally go to Gay Paris, and it is not what you thought at all.
You're like, what the? Like, first of all, still like this. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, and we often build things up like that in our mind, and then when we get there, it's usually like, either, oh, it's not that bad, or oh, it's not. It's cool. That really sucks. I like that.
So they resurrect-
Lord.
They resurrect Frankenstein.
Yeah, come on, Frank.
Right. And we get a nice little more shots of home, mommy tucking Phoebe in. And someone called Mr. Alucard. That's Dracula spelled backwards. Mr. Alucard called, message. He's interested in the Van Halen diary. Possible money. Sean, a man called and wants to do business with you. You're 12. I'll let you two talk.
I'll let you handle it. You're ready. You're ready for a business deal with strange men who call on the phone? No, you're ready for that. Your mother and I were talking
Jericho.
last night.
Your kids are young. Someone calls and says, hey, Jericho, your son Jericho Jr. has some baseball cards I'd really like to buy from him. Could you put them on?
Yeah, I'm not going to stand in the way. Yeah, I'm calling you. Come here.
How do you think?
Then he walks out of the house with his backpack full of cards. Where are you going? I'm going to meet this guy to sell them. All right. Come back when you can. That's how I run my house.
Right. No, it makes perfect sense.
Makes total sense. It puts their safety first.
Right.
Love it.
And Eugene, the little brother.
This scene's cool.
Yeah. He sees the mummy out the window. He actually sees it.
And then he ends up in the closet, and the dad has a door open, but he's not looking in the closet. He's like, oh, look at all these monsters. There's no monsters in here. And the mummy's in there. And he fucking slams the door in the mummy's face. And the little kid's like, but the little kid has his eyes covered, so he doesn't see that the mummy's in there either. He would totally fucking freak out. But the mummy is in there, but dad's just like, he doesn't look. He's like, see, no monster. Go to bed. And he says, you're not sleeping with your mother and I tonight either. Don't even think about it. Go to bed. I like this dad. This is the
right.
He's loving. He's kind and caring. Remember, he's having that tender moment with his son earlier. He's talking about the game and stuff. And son, he's affectionate with him. He hugs him and all that kind of stuff. But he's also, hey, what are you talking? There's no monsters in here. Go to bed. I'm tired of coming in here. And no, you're not going to come in here and sleep with your mom and I.
All right, we went to counseling tonight. Do you know what's going to happen tonight? You are not sleeping in here.
We got to get you another sibling, son. So keep your ass in here. Don't bug me.
Like, hey, actually, do you think you could spend the night anywhere? Get your
Like, give me that phone book. Martha, whatever the wife's name is.
Maybe you two could spend the night at Mr. Alucard's house. I hear he wants to buy your brother's journal.
Yeah, you guys can look at fucking baseball cards all night. Get out of here. Get out of here.
So later on at the awesome Treehouse Fort thing, good old Shawnee boy is saying, we are the Monster Squad. I always think it's interesting when a movie references itself in the movie. They say the name of it.
Just want to make sure.
I remember having this corny thought as a kid that I remember thinking as like a 7, 8-year-old that it would have been corny if Lando had told Luke, hey, the Empire has struck back.
It's going to strike back.
But
yeah, a little too on the nose.
Yeah. And then he turns and looks right into the camera when he says it.
They didn't get that memo at the fucking Monster Squad set. So
right.
We're just going to go with it. Go with it.
So now what's the plan? We've got Van Helsing's journal. They believe there's all these monsters coming back to destroy the world, and they were going to have to do something about it, find the amulet and put a stop to this. And so they're having a talk about this, what is exactly it is they're going to do. And you have Eugene, the little brother that saw the mummy. He's obsessed with contacting the military to stop all this, remember?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to write a letter to hey, army guys, come and stop all the monsters. He's going to do that later, which ends up being a pretty funny thing in the movie.
Yeah, come get these fuckers.
Right.
Get these damn monsters. And, little kid, army, bad guys, that's what you're going to think. Get the army in here.
Right.
We got all the guns and shit. They'll take care of it.
Right. So, and then we have this old house here, and this is allegedly where the amulet and all that stuff is hidden. This is the, 100 years later, this is built on the site of where that took place with the portal from the beginning of the movie. And Dracula is going to use it for his base of operations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this home has bizarrely has a dungeon in it.
Yeah, he picked because just down the road from the Hill neighborhood where the kid lives to watch the movies from his roof is the dungeon houses. And all the houses on that street have dungeons in them. And they all have amulets inside.
Well, you have your house for sale right now, real life, and you listed it what? 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2 dungeons, right?
3 dungeons.
Oh, 3 dungeons. Wow,
Yeah,
you have a
3
master
dungeons.
dungeon?
3 dungeons, 1 mountain
Okay.
to sit on, and if you want to watch movies.
Okay. Is one of the dungeons? Do you think we could convert it to a torture room easily, or?
One of them actually already is. It definitely needs upgrades. It was built, about 15 years ago.
Okay.
Different things were going on in dungeons.
So it has one of the old torture racks. It doesn't have the new kind.
It doesn't have the new one with the
Wi-Fi
and the wrist. No, there's no USB ports in the torture table.
Okay.
So I mean, you can still use it, but is it as convenient with all the amenities?
Right.
But, you can remodel that.
No, my buddy moved in, and the torture room the house had USB, but it didn't have USB-C, so he had to change all the outlets. So
it's a pain in the ass.
Right.
But this one, the old school ones that I have are easier to remodel. So
okay.
If you're looking for a quick remodel to swap some parts out, get into whatever crazy shit you're into, then I would definitely purchase.
Right. Now the miser, his place is 2.5 sarcophagi. So.
And they only built those for about 10 years.
Right. Yeah, that was like an early
2000s
thing. That was like 2003, 2004, right in the housing boom, right in the crazy ass housing boom.
So if you want, because of the ones you could find plenty with like 1 sarcophagi, 2, 3, but the half sarcophagi, that's where you get into.
I feel like
submission.
I feel like the half sarcophagi, it's like people showing off. It's kind of douchey. It's like a new money thing,
That is true, but will you enjoy that half of a sarcophagi?
Well, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's like the kind of people who refinance and they shouldn't have because of debt. They would do that, the half sarcophagi. So
then let them. If they want to buy the house from you and pay the money,
hey, it's their fucking money.
For the extra half a sarcophagi, then take their money. It's not up to you to advise their financial decisions. You're going to be dumb enough to pay for that half a sarcophagi that's like 20 years old, then fucking do it, idiot.
It looks like in this picture that Dracula is explaining to Frankenstein that he's an idiot.
Like he's an idiot, that he is an idiot. And he is an idiot. Frankenstein's not the sharpest tool in the shed. No. Not even close.
They gave him the Abby normal brain.
He's asking him, Frankenstein, what's the brain that you gave me to put in? He was like,
Abby normal.
Abby no.
So we this is a wink and a nod to the 1930s Frankenstein movie and to Young Frankenstein. We have little Phoebe playing on the riverbank here, whatever, near the clubhouse. The boys have the treehouse, and Frankenstein shows up and he befriends her. And then they're walking by the scary old German guy's house. Like he's that everyone knows that one scary old man or the scary old house in the neighborhood. We had one when I was a little kid and lived in Colorado. There was a drunk who was homeless, lived in Greeley there near where we lived, and he would always ride a bicycle. And they called him crazy is loco in Spanish, and they called him locolín. And kids would tell each other, locolín, it's locolín, and everyone would run, and he'd come squeaking by all wobbly on his horrible bike. Right. Oh, Mob Seat saying it's better than a timeshare sarcophagi.
Well, don't even get me started on that.
Right.
Because you can't get rid of them. Once you get it, you can't get rid of them.
My grandpa said, when it comes to finances, don't stretch your legs longer than your blanket. All right. Timeshare, don't be doing that. Don't do that.
And rule number 1, beware the sarcophagus.
Right.
When it comes to business and stuff like that. But
Timeshare.
they didn't get the memo. So take this half a sarcophagi.
So the kids go into the old, crazy, scary German man's house because he's going to talk to them about the Van Halen / Van Helsing diary. And they enjoy a little bit of the cherry pie and stuff. He tells them kind of the legend. He tells them what's going on. And then when they go to leave his house, he puts his hand in the door frame as he's talking to them. And you see he has like the Nazi concentration camp tattoo numbers on his wrist.
But he says, you know anything about monsters? They say, you know a lot about monsters. And he puts his hand up there and says, yeah, I do. But he turns out to be a really nice guy. He has like fresh baked apple pie and soda and shit. And he translates part of Van Helsing's book for him. He's a fucking cool dude.
Right. None the Miser says, it took my cousin an eternity to get out of his timeshare. Right.
That's how they set it up.
Do you kids like movies about gladiators? What is he referencing there? I don't get the reference. Sorry.
Feels like one of those movies like this with a group of kids.
What do you think of Gladiator 2 with Denzel Washington and all those guys?
Gladiator 2?
Yeah, the year 2000 Academy Award-winning movie with Russell Crowe, Gladiator. There is a sequel coming.
I had no idea.
There's a sequel in a few months with Denzel in it.
I'd have to see the trailer because Denzel is one of the greatest actors ever. So
yeah,
I would have to see what they came up with because usually he's not a part of no bullshit. So I will trust Denzel that they somehow did that.
Yeah, the first trailer came out and it had rap music for the background music, and it was very poorly received. So they put out a new trailer with regular like symphony music or something like that. Yeah. So I feel like Roman Gladiators rap music, that's not good combo.
No, you don't mix hip hop with that.
So
no, fuck that.
Right.
Change it, Denzel.
So now the boys, look, see, there's the Gotcha t-shirt, the TNC t-shirt. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the pink yin and yang, not a yin and yang? And the Gotcha Fishman planting his flag.
Yep.
Near and dear to my heart as a child. Love that. It's very comic book. And now they know more about Van Helsing's diary and what they need to do, and the amulet and the legend and the bad guys all coming back. And if you open the amulet, if a virgin recites these words at midnight before midnight or whatever on this day, you can open the portal and send them into limbo and save the world.
Yep.
So now they know.
Read by a virgin, all that stuff. Everything you saw in the opening scene, with them, with Van Helsing telling the girl to read and all that shit. That's basically what they just learned.
Right. So now they know they need to find the amulet. And they got to go talk to Billy Badass and get the gang together and figure out what to do. They go meet at the treehouse and they run into Frankenstein in the middle of the day. Now, just from an artistic direction, tell me if you agree or not. Don't you think Frankenstein should be painted green?
Yes.
Not the skin color.
No, because he looks like more decayed and shit like
that. The skin color is distracting. I want him to be green Frankenstein, as we all know from growing up. What the hell is this?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't do that. Maybe some director or something thought they were too cool for school. We're going to go with the flesh color.
No, I get it. The original Frankenstein in the movie's black and white. So why is he, quote, green? I don't know when the green came in. The green must have come in the 50s or the 60s, maybe in a cartoon or something. I don't know where the original green Frankenstein came in, but it's way better. It's way better.
Don't know where it came from, but it's here. So
Right.
let's stick to it.
So we establish here that Frankenstein is friendly. He likes kids, and he's friends with the little girl. And man, are you getting so many texts to vote?
I haven't gotten any, which is great. Maybe they don't want my vote.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting Patriots. We need you to be registered. It's like, guys, I already filled out my ballot. Calm down.
Yeah. Got the video to prove it. I already did it. Thank you very much.
Were you scared when I almost voted for Kamala?
No, I knew better than that.
What would you have done if I voted for her as a joke?
We'd have to. That wouldn't be a joke, would it? That'd be
No.
some pretty serious shit.
No, that's not a joke.
No, we'd definitely talk about it.
Yeah, we'd have to decide on our future.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Couples counseling. So Frankenstein shows up in the middle of the day, and as it would any 12-year-old, scares these kids. They run and jump the fence, but they keep it light. One of the kids jumps in a trash can to hide.
Yeah, no one's gonna look there.
Right. So then you get a really fun moment here where the kids befriend Frankenstein. He's in the treehouse clubhouse thing with them. He's, I don't know, he's hanging out with them. The little and I love this shot here. Look at this with the sunset.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
That was really cool.
And the kids have befriended Frankenstein. So that's a good dynamic because the monsters have their gang, and Frankenstein's the inside man that's going to help the kids with the monsters. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Back at the Van Helsing place that Dracula has made his base of operations, they're kind of going by, tapping on the walls. Wolfman has a light. He has a flashlight, and Dracula, and they find a hole in the wall with green, eerie light in there, and that is the room where the amulet is, right? Where the portal and all that stuff happened in the past. It's been sealed off. But Dracula's looking for it because he wants that amulet. Because if he can control that amulet, he can make sure there's no portal to limbo to ever send him to again, I guess.
Yeah, they don't send their ass into the abyss or wherever they go.
Right.
That nightclub that they go to.
And you combine that scene, the search for the amulet, with the kids doing the great 1980s gear up scene.
Geared up.
Right.
They're in class and looking at his watch and shit. They're getting, they got the cool kids smelting fucking silver.
Right. He's in shop class. Does shop class even exist anymore? Or is it toxically masculine?
It should exist because shop class was crazy. If you can make it through shop class, you're gonna be all right.
I took shop class. I think most boys. Yeah, it was fun.
Wood shop. I took all kinds of shit. Ceramics.
Right.
Small engine repair. But yeah, this is the gear up scene that they're making the business cards. And any scene where you can have a child melting silver and making bullets.
Right.
I'm there. Yeah.
Right. And then she's really becoming good friends with Frankenstein. And that's the emotional heart of this movie, is the innocence of this little girl and her very affectionate relationship with the big monster Frankenstein. Eugene, the torpy little brother that was in his closet, and the mummy was in the closet. He's Dear Army guys. It almost looks like it says Dear Army gays. Huh.
Both.
Look at that. Did he write Dear Army gays?
He was writing in the future.
Look at that. I think it might say.
No, that's a U.
No. Look on top of the U.
But that's just the way he wrote it. I think.
Dear Army gays.
Let's say you did that.
Come quick.
Only the gays. If you're hetero and you're in the army, don't fucking read this. But if
Dear
you're fabulous,
Dear Army gays, come quick. There are monsters everywhere.
You better get over here and come quick. Come quick.
Hardy Harmonica points out that Frankenstein is flesh colored. The Bride of Frankenstein getting alimony. She took all his green. There you go.
There you go. That's where it went. Bitch.
There you go. Eugene puts his little army letter to the army in the mail. Look at that great John Romita Sr. Amazing Spider-Man poster behind him. Wow. Yeah. What a time to be alive. Yes, I know the artist just by looking at the hand and the chin there. I know my stuff, people. That is John Romita Sr., one of the greats of comics. Rest in peace, John Romita Sr. Smelting the Silver Bullets by Billy Badass. And he goes onto a shooting range and he steals a bow and arrow. It's pretty good. So they're getting all their gear, their business cards, everything is ready because they're going to go hunt down monsters.
That's it. No one else believes them.
Now, you might be cool, but are you Frankenstein wearing sunglasses cool?
Who is?
Right.
Nobody.
All right, so it's time to strike. Dracula's got Wolfman tied up because the guy doesn't want to be bad when he's in his human form. But once the night comes, the moon and everything, he transforms into a wolf. So during the day, he's like, leave me alone, Dracula. Like, let me get out of here. And, but, you know, so Dracula keeps him sort of as a prisoner, which is terrible because the guy doesn't want to be bad when he's in his regular human form.
Yeah. He was telling the cops earlier, kill me, kill me. He doesn't want to do that, but Dracula and shit.
And then a much less saucy version of Dracula's three succubi. These women keep their tops on, unlike the Keanu movie. They don't pull their boobies out, these three. And they are ready to serve their lord and master, Dracula, all the way to damnation. Right. So
like there's chicks who follow what's his name? Charles Manson.
Right.
You know.
What was Charles Manson's gang called? Like something family? There's something I don't even know.
Wasn't the Manson family?
I think it was the Manson family. I realized it as soon as I asked you.
It's like the Manson family. Right?
He does have a little Uncle Rico to him. Wolfman. He does. He has a little bit of that look. How much you want to bet I could throw a football over them mountains?
You can't do that. Watch.
So yeah, so he escapes his captor, Wolfman. He is out and he is transformed. Kids are making their move, and now. Why is the sister come along? I don't remember why the older sister finds out what they're up to, and she's coming along. I don't remember.
Because they're asking her if she's a virgin, so she can read the transcripts of Van Helsing's book. So they're asking her if she's a virgin, and she says, "Yeah."
So I've been spying on you with my binoculars through the window, but I wanted to ask you a serious question.
Yeah,
I've seen you. Me spying on you was invasive. Let me ask you about your sexual history.
Yes, it is. Now I've seen your body. Let me ask you about it. Are you a virgin? And her little brother's there too, and he doesn't want to ask her, but the older kid. And they say that this girl, we know this girl, and blah blah blah, and she lets the football players grab her boobs. And he's like, is that girl so and so? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, uh-oh. I think I've grabbed her sister's titties before.
That's not what you want to hear.
Ever. There's no point in your life where you want to hear those words.
So they need a woman. They need a virgin because a virgin has to read the sacred words to open the portal to throw all the monsters back into limbo.
No whores.
Yeah, no whores. If a whore reads it, ain't nothing gonna happen. So they go into the haunted house. This is really fun. You know, I wish it was blue inside there. I don't like the yellow lighting for a haunted house. It would be cooler if it was blue.
Yeah.
They go in
at night, like the full moon kind of look.
Right. If the lighting was blue and the flashlights were yellow, it'd be a fun dynamic. But anyway, that's just the colors for me talking. Dracula down in the basement. And yes, I called him Dracula, not Dracula. Down in the basement, he hears them creeping around and he pushes a plunger like the Wile E. Coyote bomb, and it blows some stuff up and the floor collapses and Frankenstein falls into the floor. And then the Wolfman jumps out, and we get the scene of the movie that was all over the commercials on TV in 1987.
Sure was.
Sean and Horace are facing off with the Wolfman, and the Wolfman's like, to Sean, the cool kid, and Horace, the fat kid's behind him. Horace gets up, and the Wolfman's going to attack him. And what does Sean tell Horace how to defend himself from Wolfman?
He says, kick him in the nards. Then he says, he doesn't have any nards. He says, kick him. So, boom. The Wolfman grabs
Turns out Wolfman had nards.
Wolfman, he has nards. You were right, man. Kicked him in his wolf balls, and then they fucking take off running, of course.
Right.
Which is what you should do. If you guys find yourself in front of a werewolf and you do kick him in his balls, take off running. Don't stick around.
Right. But they can't leave the house because the succubi are standing in the doorway.
The suckers, they're blocking the door. And, won't let you out. Can't let you out of here, kids. Our boss wants you dead.
Meanwhile, in the 1950s style drive-through, he's trying to make time with his best girl over here.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, virgin?
Yeah.
Virgin whore.
Yeah. So that half of the squad there, they're roping the sister into this. They're gonna meet up in the town square eventually. They're gonna meet up and open up the portal once Sean is able to get the amulet. Goes into a room with a lot of religious iconography and an eerie green light. You ever been in a room like that, Jericho?
Not exactly like that. It was eerie red light.
Okay. So yes, he is able. Now, obviously, all the crosses are there to keep Dracula out. Mm-hmm. Dracula can't go there and get the amulet because he'll freak out with all the crosses. But Sean, being a wholesome little boy and not one of the eternally damned vampires, he goes in there, gets himself an amulet. They get out of the house, creepy German guy shows up in a World War II Jeep, it looks like. And they're all gonna head to they gotta hightail it, get out of this neighborhood. And you get a fun scene here, and the police are scrambling too because something's going on.
Now
Everyone's gonna converge.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe him yet. The Bernie Hudson, he's still teasing him. He's laughing like, "Oh, wait a minute, we're supposed to go out here." Because the Wolfman, he gets on the phone. He says, "Come, I'm out here at so and so. Come and get me. He's here. He's going to raise the dead or whatever. The evil is here." And he says, "They're going to kill your son." And then he turns into Wolfman. So that's what gets him like, "Oh shit!" And then his buddy's like, Bernie Hudson's like, "Wait a minute, we're gonna go out here because some guy says he's a werewolf." Never mind the guy who said he was a werewolf that you shot earlier that night. But he's laughing at him, and he's laughing about the mummy being missing and shit like that until.
Right, and it's a fun scene here. They all get in this Jeep. They take off. The mummy's in the middle of the road. He jumps on the back of the Jeep, and the little dog they have, it's like a little Dachshund. It grabs a piece of the bandage that the mummy has, and they tie it to an arrow. Billy Badass ties it to an arrow, shoots a tree. This is very Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner kind of shit. Yeah. And the arrow sticks in the tree. It's tied to the bandage on his leg, and it unravels the mummy like, and just keeps coming out. And that's how they kill the mummy. So that's actually a pretty funny moment.
Fucking hilarious. And classic dog. There's always a dog in the group. The dog grabs something or bites something, that helps the kids out. So that's what their dog did. Help with the fucking the mummy.
And then going down the freeway, Bernie Hudson and the father face off with Dracula's like hot rod hearse, and it goes right through them, like ghostly. The hot rod goes through.
And they're freaking out like, no, and then boom, that's when they realize, oh shit, all this ghost monster shit is real. And Bernie Hudson tells him, "I don't want to hear a word," because he was gonna be like, "I said, I told you, motherfucker, you talking all that shit, laughing."
Isn't that in Blues Brothers? The one guy goes, "Not a fucking word."
Yeah, don't you say a fucking word. It was the good old boys when they drove their fucking motorhome into the water.
We got to do that. Paul Chato, the great improv comic and YouTuber. Remember our friend Paul? He wants to come on and do the Blues Brothers. So he emailed me, so I have to get back to him. So
that's one of my all-time favorites, man.
Yeah.
All time.
One of my absolute favorite movies, the Blues Brothers. Love it.
Don't you say a fucking word.
So then Dracula, he wants to go about killing people in strange ways. He has dynamite.
Fuck it. Why not? I'm sick of the biting. That's so passe.
You know what kind of deal a lord can get on dynamite?
Especially if you're Dracula.
Yeah, he's a count. He can get it on wholesale.
Dude. If anybody can get dynamite on wholesale, it's Dracula. Everybody knows that.
All right. So the dad's facing off with him, like, hey, and that's their home, by the way. The home on the cliffside.
Yeah.
With no ground.
Cliff neighborhood. He's going after Van Helsing's book, and he knows that little boy has it. So now he's looking for Sean.
Right. So he's going to blow up the house or something to destroy the book, ends up facing over the dad, and then blowing up the car with the dynamite instead.
Yeah, he throws it over there, and the dad fucking runs. And
Right.
That car.
This reminds me too much of Back to the Future, the clock tower in the town square.
Yeah. It looks like it's the same set.
Could be. Who knows? Is Back to the Future a Universal movie? Is this a Universal movie?
Yeah, it is a Universal movie.
Back to the Future. It could be Universal.
I don't know about this one. Is this Universal?
It has to be. It has the Universal monsters, right?
Oh, then there you go. Let's see. So I'm pretty sure Back to the Future is Universal.
Let's see. Monster Squad. It's TriStar Pictures, but who is that?
Who are you, TriStar?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a universe? I can't tell because it's TriStar, which is under Sony, which is I don't know.
Back to the Future was Amblin Entertainment, which was a Universal Pictures.
Okay. Well, I don't know, but I know that the Universal monsters, like, they have the copyright to the certain versions of them. Anyone can do Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy, but if you do the Frankenstein with the flat top head and all that, and the sleeve, short sleeve jacket, that's like owned by Universal Pictures. You could do your own Frankenstein. You got to dress him differently, and I don't think you can make the top of his head flat. So. And I'm not kidding about the flat head. I learned that, I think, working at DC Comics. We have a Frankenstein character, but he does not have a flat head. He has a round head on top. So, what if you give him any shape? You give him a triangle head?
Yeah, like a
dodecahedron?
Yeah, it's fucking has all these different sides to his fucking head. That sounds good.
Here come the ladies of the night, Dracula's three girlies. And now we're like on Main Street, USA, near the clock tower for Back to the Future. And it's time to read the spell in the Book of Van Helsing with the amulet by a virgin to open the portal to the limbo zone to suck in all the damned. That is a mouthful. And here we get a scene that I think is inappropriate because this is a movie for kids. The high school junior or senior sister reads the incantation holding the amulet to open the portal. Meanwhile, the dad and the boys are fighting the monsters nearby in the buildings and on the street nearby. The sister reads the incantation and the portal won't open. Not just yet. The dad in like a warehouse, but I think it's a Dallas book depository with Lee Harvey Oswald. He's up there with Dracula in a half bat form fighting him. And then Dracula gets away. He like heals up and gets away. Wolfman attacks the dad. And he's going to kill the dad. And the son comes in behind him and says, hey. And then the Wolfman turns around and face is shining. He's like, made you look, asshole. And he Barry bonds this guy. He Barry bonds him in the face.
Yeah.
With some metal pipe. And there was dynamite with a Wile E. Coyote long fuse, a Yosemite Sam long fuse that I believe.
Well, you cut it. One thing you don't know about explosives, I learned this in the military. You cut the fuse as long as you think you're going to be talking. So if you think you have a lot to say, you got a good joke, like this kid right here is going to bonk him.
Is
with
that
the
why
bat.
it's called conversation length fuse?
Yeah.
Oh,
You cut
I never
it.
knew the origin of that.
You cut it based on how long you think you're going to be talking. And like this one, you think you're going to be talking about 30 seconds. You got the kid going to do his thing, a little joke. They give it, that 30-second length. Maybe you're going to sit down and have a heart-to-heart. You got to give it a 60-second. Maybe you're just going to cut the shit and get to it, give it a 5-second length. But a lot of people don't know this. It's based on how long you're going to talk after you light it.
Okay.
So you're welcome.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. So he Barry bonds the Wolfman in the face to save his father from death, and then they stick the dynamite in the front of his trousers.
The dad does. The kid is not reaching for this wolf.
Right. Yeah, that would have been turn the movie off, please. Wolfman goes out the window. Wolfman goes out. This ain't a Diddy party, guys. Wolfman goes out the window and kablooey.
Yeah, everywhere. Fucking blow. Again, I've never seen Dracula drive until this movie, and I've never seen a werewolf get blown up until this movie, but that werewolf gets fucked up.
Why do you think Dracula had so much dynamite?
Oh, maybe he's been collecting it over the years. Maybe he passed the dynamite depository on the way there. He's like, you know what? Let me grab a few sticks.
So the alleged 16-year-old virgin sisters reading the incantation and holding the amulet to open the portal to the limbo zone to send all the damned monsters in there. And it won't open. The old man, I mean, you're old, been around the block, you know how things work. Becoming very suspicious of this young lady as time progresses.
Yeah, shit's not working. Nothing's sparking or lightning or anything like that. No portals are opening up. So we
I understand. She doesn't want to be embarrassed. She doesn't want to put her reputation out there. But this is life and death for the city. You can't. Now's not the time to lie about what you've done here, girl. You know?
But nowadays she would be like, oh yeah, I fucked 8 dudes and I sucked their dicks and all that stuff. Back then, when there's a little virtue left, a little dignity, she didn't want to be thought of as a sleut. So she told him, yeah, I'm still a virgin, of course. I wouldn't dare give away my virgin like that.
Right. So
yeah,
there's
Wolfman.
There's a problem.
Big problem.
Yeah.
Wolfman's all fucked up. He's in a bunch of different.
He just got done at a Diddy party. This guy.
Everything's a Diddy party. That's what your butthole looks like after you leave a Diddy party. It's just it's mangled.
It's just shattered into pieces.
It's unrecognizable. It looks like somebody chewed up a bunch of bubble gum. So he's blown apart. You're thinking, fuck, this is it. Yeah, a silver bullet, but they just blew him into pieces. This is it. And then Terminator 2 style, maybe this is where Terminator 2 got it from.
Right.
His parts, all his different body parts that are spread out everywhere start moving and coming back to life, and they come back together to rebuild his body. And now the Wolfman is back.
Wolfman Jack is back, baby.
He's back. So Wolfman's back. He's better than ever. He's put back together. So let's fuck up some more cops.
Right. So yeah, he's fighting the police. And then the brother realizes what's wrong
Mhm.
with his sister. He does not like this one bit.
He
I
said,
don't
"Are
think
you a
anyone wants to
virgin?"
think about that.
He's like, no. He's like, oh, you disgusting.
But Wolfman's going to kill some of these cops. But
Mhm.
Billy Badass shoots him with a gun. See, this is hardcore for kids to watch. I feel like if the kids are going to kill the monsters, it should be the way they killed the mummy, like Looney Tunes style, like stuff.
But it worked. It was cool. But this kid's like older, you know, and at the age
This guy though,
at 6 years old or 8 years old, like you were, the kid is like, he's like a teenager. He's like fucking 18 or something to you. So it's not like, you know, a toddler's blowing the fucking werewolf
Well,
away.
look
It's like
at
an
the
older
poor
kid.
guy. Look at the poor guy who is the werewolf. You can see he has genuine like remorse and sadness on his face. He doesn't want to be a werewolf.
But he thanks him for
Yeah,
shooting him. Like, you know, now I'm at peace. Now that you shot me in my heart.
right. Oh, very hardcore. Then the best makeup of the movie, the creature, who was a guest earlier on the show. The creature comes in. He's gonna have himself a little midnight snack on this little chubbykins here.
On
And there
Fat
was a-
Kid, which
there
is
was a
what they call him.
Right, fat kid. Horace, are you hiding ding dongs and ho hos and Swiss cake rolls under your bed again, Horace?
Stay out of my room, Mom. You're not supposed to be looking under my bed, Mom. Stay the
I
hell
don't
out.
have to knock. This is my house.
I need more little Debbies. Give me more little Debbies from the store, Bob. I hate you.
You haven't bathed in 3 days and you're just eating ding dongs.
That's why Dad left us, because all you do is nag, nag, nag. That's why Dad left us.
And then the mom runs away crying.
Of course, you're a dick.
Yeah, why don't you drink another box of wine, Mom?
Oh, you gonna cry, Mom? How about all the times I cried after you made Dad leave because you're drunk and you fucking whore. You fuck the youth director, youth pastor.
So anyway, the
Mhm.
excellent makeup adorning the creature. He alters it, young Horace. He alters it with a blast.
up.
He blows his lung out on the right side.
Yeah.
Look
Because
at if you can see clearly, it's a little blurry because there's motion, but it looks a little bit like he's looking down. Look at his eye.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, spaghetti. Oh,
Yeah, he put a hole in him. And he kept
Yeah.
saying, you know, stop. He was scared. He was backing up. The monster kept coming. He said, boom. And then somebody said something, Fat Kid. Is that what they call him? Fat Kid?
I
Yeah, they
believe
call
so.
him, yeah, Fat Kid. And he goes, my name's not Fat Kid. My name is Horace. With the shotgun. I was like, yeah, that was weird.
There you go. So he gets a character arc. So everyone is getting their nice character arc moment. Look at that. Now who's the bully creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah, and those kids behind him, they wouldn't let him in. He ran up to their window and was banging on it for them to let him in, and they wouldn't. So he had to
Yeah.
put that stupid monster down.
You know, Horace, the more killing you do, the easier it gets, friend.
That's right. The next one, it's going to be a lot easier.
Horace is going to show up at school tomorrow with like Vitalis oil in his hair, slicked back, and like smoking a cigarette. And the
Yeah.
other 6th grade girls are going to ask him what it was like to shoot the creature.
Yeah, it was nothing.
It was nothing.
I knew I had to do it. I had to save the town. No big deal. Oh, Horace.
Oh,
Really?
Horace, can I get you anything? Yeah. Why don't you get me a pack of ding dongs? And then we
Yeah.
can kiss afterwards.
And a chocolate milk. Oh, right away, Horace. And then the it girl comes up to him. Oh, Horace, I was wrong about you. You are so hot. You're so handsome. Oh, look at you. You shot that monster. And he blows her off. He's like, you already had your chance. Toots. And he goes with the other girl, the nerdy girl, who's all you have to do is take her glasses off.
Take your glasses off. She's a 10 all of a sudden.
Looking hot. So it's a win-win for Horace, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. So the 16-year-old sister, she was
What?
not enough of a virgin to read the spell that is required. So turned out what she read in Cosmo magazine wasn't true. It does count.
Sure does.
Does count if you do that. So,
Good night.
you know.
Good night.
So,
So she can't help.
Right. So we go to Phoebe, the little, 5, 6-year-old.
Little Phoebes.
And the old man has to walk her through some German, and she's got to hold the amulet so we can open the portal to send the damn to limbo. Dracula rolls up, strutting, cape on fleek, looking like a badass. and I don't like this part of the movie. He picks up the little girl by her chin, lifts her in the air, and says, "Give me the amulet, you little bitch." And it's like,
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Come on. That's too much.
That was too real. That was way too real.
Yeah, that was no.
Give me the amulet, you little bitch.
None the miser says horse douses himself in Drakkar Noir now.
The ladies can smell him before they see him.
Right.
But that doesn't keep them back. They still want
No.
more of the Horus. They want Morris of the Horus. So,
Right. So Dracula's getting rough with the little girl, but remember, the heart of this movie, there's some sentimentality in this movie. With the Wolfman is sentimental, the mom and dad having tension, but maybe getting divorced, but maybe not. And then the little girl and Frankenstein becoming good friends. She's about to get whacked by Dracula, but Frankenstein saves the day.
Yep, grabs him by the back of his neck.
Hulk Hogan throws Dracula in the air, and he lands on a fence stake through the heart. Yikes.
See ya.
See ya wouldn't want to be ya.
See ya, Dracul. Yeah, Frankenstein fucks him up. But I guess him and Frankenstein must have been into some bad shit together 100 years ago because they were all sucked into the portal.
Well,
So
he is part of the dam. He is an unholy abomination. So even though he's nice, Frankenstein, he is an abomination. So
yeah, he had to go.
So the creepy German guy walks the little girl through the incantation. The portal opens. Dracula grabs the boy as he's being sucked in, but then Sean gives it to him in the heart with the stake. The movie is so hardcore at the end, with the kids killing the monsters in violent ways. Because again, they kill the mummy in like a cartoonish way. And then the rest of this all involves guns and stabbing in the heart. Jeez.
But there's no non-violent way to kill Dracula.
I don't know.
It's either sunlight and he burns, you stake him, you cut his head off.
Right.
Not a lot of no unraveling.
But waiting in the portal, Van Helsing grabs Dracula to pull him in. They get sucked in. The little dog and Eugene, the dog is almost sucked in.
Oh, Eugene, no.
And then literally, figuratively pulling on the heartstrings. Frankenstein's like, touching little Phoebe's hand because they're loving friends. But even he's an abomination to God and must be sucked into limbo.
And she threw her stuffed animal to him. Bye. He's waving by and like, oh, any onions in here?
Right. Yeah. So it's sad to see Frankenstein get sucked away into the limbo zone. And then the army shows up because Eugene wrote a letter. So that's a funny little punchline there to wrap up that.
Yeah, they show up.
And then we get the whole group shot on the street, everyone smiling, and then some like sort of rocky / hip hoppy music starts and the credits roll. That is Monster Squad, guys.
And that was Monster Squad.
And I don't know what happened. This has happened to me on a few movies review on this channel. I hated this movie the first time I saw it, and I actually liked it yesterday. I don't like the hardcore stuff, the kids savagely killing these monsters, calling the one little girl a bitch, and the weird virgin joke. I don't like that stuff. It's not good for little kids. Otherwise, I like it. I like the playfulness. I don't think those things are playful. I think they're too adult. But overall, it's a good adventure, I think, for young minds. So
that was good.
Yeah, like that one. Like that one.
Good one.
Yeah. Well, we've gone a bit long today because Jericho ran off and we were talking about all kinds of AI and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we're going to call it here. We continue next week with The Lost Boys, another horror-themed October Halloween kind of movie. The Lost Boys, and we'll do one more October one. I think we'll do Alien, the original, because I've never seen it, and it's a classic. So,
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so Lost Boys next Wednesday. Jericho, is there anything you want to add? Anything you need to promote or advertise before we get out of here?
I got some pretty big changes coming to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So keep your eyes peeled for that. And of course, give me a follow on X at @Green_Jericho and like and subscribe to Green's House.
All right. I am Big Man Comics on Twitter X, and I'm Gabe Tape everywhere else. Make sure you follow that. Go to bigmancomics.com and get yourself one of the last few copies of Dean Cain All-American Lawman. And Dean and I talked, we might have something very special coming to you very soon in the way of Big Man Comics. Very special. So more info on that probably next week. Hit the like, hit the share. We will talk to you later on the next Double Impact. All right, guys. Bye-bye.